904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news from baseball. Mike Schilt is out as manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. Team president John Mozeliak points to philosophical differences. The Cards won 90 games and earned the second National League wildcard spot this year, but lost to the Dodgers. The last game of the division series is tonight in San Francisco. The Giants and the Dodgers play for a spot in the National League Championship Series. ESPN's Jessica Mendoza says 5 games just aren't enough for this series.
I am so upset at the fact that this is a 5-game series. And these two teams with the best records in baseball. I mean, look at college sports. Like, when are you going to division, and now we're going to go ahead and put you guys head-to-head when your records are the 2 best, not just in the National League, all of baseball.
Jess Mendoza on Key J and Max. We've got the Giants and Dodgers Game 5 tonight starting at 8:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. ESPN's Dan Graziano reports the Arizona Cardinals now have 3 positive COVID-19 tests this week. That means some players and other team personnel are now getting increased testing. 1 more positive would put the Cardinals into intensive protocols. Week 6 kicks off tonight in the NFL. The 2-3 Eagles hosting the 4-1 Buccaneers in Philadelphia.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Oh, it's hockey night.
Oh, yeah.
Hockey actually opened up a couple of nights ago, didn't it?
It did.
How about that light show in Las Vegas?
That was cool.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Tampa Bay.
Does your team
Detroit
still
tonight.
stink?
Yeah, I mean, they're not the best, for sure. They're still rebuilding.
Oh, you and Casey going at it tonight?
Oh, yeah, man. Tampa Bay's playing in Detroit. So Tampa Bay is 0-1. Detroit hasn't played yet, so should be an exciting game.
Which season sneaks up on you more, hockey or NBA?
Ooh.
Because it's like, dang, here we are.
I'd say
hockey starts.
I'd say hockey because NBA gets more coverage.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
It feels like there's a lot more preseason games for the NBA. Like they've been going for like 2 weeks. It feels
Yeah,
like.
you're not wrong. And especially when it's like still 90 degrees outside, it doesn't really feel like hockey season
That's a
right
good
now.
point. Today's hot, too.
It's a toasty one.
It's going to be nice now next week.
Oh, yeah.
I'll feel a little more like hockey.
Good. We need it.
So, all right, go ahead, guys. 3 storylines in the NHL to follow. Can the Lightning three-peat? That's 1.
And that's probably the big one.
Yeah, I mean,
Are they good enough?
no,
They lost a lot?
they lost a little bit. They won't win. They'll go to the playoffs, but they won't. I'd be surprised if they don't do something drastic. I would be surprised if they win.
Okay, so this isn't like the Bucks who kept everybody together to make another
No,
run.
absolutely not. They had to get rid of guys because remember, some say they cheated.
That's right. They cheated well.
Depending on who you ask.
It's amazing how much you hate
cheaters.
the Houston Astros considering how much the Lightning cheated.
Cheaters. Yeah. I mean, big old cheaters, but it is what it is.
So what else? All right, give me the real story. Then outside of that, because that's probably not going to happen, I think most people would say.
I would say, can the Seattle Kraken come out the gate and have success? You know, the Las Vegas Knights did that. And the way the kind of the expansion draft and all that is set up, it's set up for teams to do that.
Yeah.
So how good is the Seattle Kraken going to be this year?
Hard to imagine they can be as good as Las Vegas was coming out of the gates.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
Las Vegas was great.
That just seems like an anomaly.
For sure.
I don't care what you did in the expansion stuff, but
For sure.
go on.
I would think, I mean, in case you feel free to chime in whenever, I'm watching because the Buffalo Sabres are probably the worst team in the NHL, and that's saying a lot compared to the Detroit Red Wings. But the whole fallout with Jack Eichel right now is kind of one to watch because he's one of the better players in the sport. And he kind of like a la Jalen Ramsey does not want to be in Buffalo anymore. And
I remember that
Buffalo's-
story last year.
Well, so it progressed now a little bit because he opted out because of a neck injury. He wanted to get a certain kind of surgery, and the trainer said, no, you're getting something else, and he didn't agree with that. So there's been a fallout ever since. So I'm going to watch for that. But also I think another storyline is who is the best team in Florida? Because Tampa Bay is supposed to be good this year, but the Florida Panthers, and it's sad to say because, you know, fan base in Florida. But the Florida
Most irrelevant
Panthers
franchise in sports is the Florida Panthers.
But they're supposed to be pretty good this year as well. So they're a team to watch out for.
And they'll continue to be the second best team in Florida.
There it is.
They were pretty good last year too, right?
They are good.
No, they're good.
They
They're
are
a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just signed their best player for a lot of money, $80 million, which was Barkov, which is good. Another thing to watch if you're in Colorado is everyone has loved the Avalanche for the last 3 or 4 years because of Nathan McKinnon. They lose their goalie to Seattle. Everyone still loves them. McKinnon starts the year on COVID, but at some point you actually need to win games if you are Colorado, and even though everyone thinks you're going to, so this is the year for them to actually do that.
Look at Glenn jumping in on the YouTube here. I mean, bigger questions whether my Rangers will make the playoffs, and the Blackhawks might be a sleepy good team.
And my man Glenn, I'm with you right there. I think Chicago made really good moves. Marc-Andre Fleury, Tyler Johnson from the Lightning. I bet that the Blackhawks make the playoffs because the odds are pretty good, and I think they're sleepy like that. I think Marc-Andre Fleury can carry them. So it's a good call, my guy.
It's a good call just with Chicago. There's some allegations going on right now with that team as well in the organization that could be a distraction kind of perceived as. So as they
emails?
We're a lot worse than emails, let's just say. Like it's like a harassment allegations and things like that within the Blackhawks. So they're going through that right now. So we'll see how that goes in terms of distractions. And probably the last one I'll say is Alex Ovechkin. You know, I mean, kind of the
I was going to
ageless.
say, is he playing in a 50 and older league now?
Dude, he's still, I mean.
Is he Gordie Howe?
In terms of talent, though, the guy still produces. It's insane. So
he seriously looks like he's about 58.
Oh, I know. I mean,
yeah.
like a lot of Tom Brady's 44, looks 28.
You never tell,
right?
Yeah, you
I
never
mean,
tell.
Ovechkin looks every bit of. How old is Ovechkin?
He's in his 40s, I believe.
Yeah, like 42, 43, I think.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because he's a top at worst 5 player in the league still.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
He's still got that.
Yeah.
So here's the crazy. So he's 36 years old.
No.
No way.
It says he's 36 years old.
That's all he is?
I don't know, man. I don't believe he's born in September 17th,
Is that
1985. That's what Google's telling me.
Is this like Danny Almonte kind of age stuff?
I mean, I don't know if the Russians maybe, tampered with some birth certificates or something, but yeah, it says he's 36 years old. He seems like he's 40.
Gosh, how do you type in Alexander Ovechkin on Google? Do you type in his full name or do you just type in grade 8?
I type in Alex Ovechkin or Alexander the Great.
I can't spell Ovechkin, so I just type in grade 8 and he comes up.
I mean, the dude had gray hair 5 years ago, so he was 31.
I can't believe he's only 36. I really thought he was in his 40s.
Insane.
Is there any chance? Who's the kid the Rangers got? Remind me of him. Drafted.
Oh, Lafreniere or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So is there a guy that is supposed to be that good?
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take him to get in the NHL?
So usually, I mean, depending how good you are, he was the top overall pick, and people were calling him the next Sidney Crosby. If that is the case and he does exceed expectations, then this year he should hit the ground running.
Then he could get in.
This year he should.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. I think he played last year, didn't he? A little bit?
A little bit, I believe.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's not.
Wait, he played for the Rangers last year?
It's not.
Already?
I'm pretty sure he played a little bit. I might be wrong, though.
It's not baseball. Like, there's no extent.
Well, I know. I get that. But it still takes some time for most guys, right?
If you're the number 1 overall pick, no, not really.
No. Yeah.
I mean, you're ready.
Isn't it great?
You should be, unless you mess that up.
Casey was just asking me this. He's like, hey, who do you like, the Bruins? I was like, well, no, I watched the Bruins on TV like every night as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
Along the Red Sox. You'd flip, I'm sorry, with the Celtics. You'd flip back and forth in hockey and basketball going on almost simultaneously on 2 different networks they were. And so as a kid, I watched them all the time. Since I left Albany, because Albany paid attention to hockey, heck, college hockey was awesome in Albany.
Yeah.
RPI, you get Union has won a national title. I mean, it's a really good hockey. I couldn't be far, as you can tell by this conversation, like just zero pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Like they just don't have to. Like it's not, now, hey, I know the Icemen are in camp.
Yeah.
I can tell you what's going on with the Icemen a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the NHL level, like there's just no reason to right here. And I'm just not that kind of hockey fan. It's just almost like, it's amazing how, like, I can do a radio show every day and know so little about hockey and so much more about golf UFC or even boxing than I do hockey.
Skateboarding even, Brent. You bring your A game. So to answer your question, Alexis Lafreniere. To answer your question about Alexis Lafreniere, he actually, I was way off. He played in 56 games last year.
He played that much? Why did I think there was like he got drafted this past year? My clock is so messed up.
So, I mean, he was considered a rookie last year.
Forget it. I'm a year late on that
Played in 56 games, scored 12 goals, 9 assists.
I think it's funny you said that, Brent, about hockey, and it's Florida, like with the Lightning and the Panthers, has helped. Florida is like a hotbed for hockey. Fans.
Well, you're absolutely right. And by the way, this is more shame on me. I probably should be paying attention more because I've always told you, I said in 10 years you look up if they build downtown and all this stuff happens and they want to get another team around here and they say, hey, the Florida Panthers are irrelevant down in Miami, but they might work up here.
Yeah.
I would not be stunned by that at some point if that were to happen down the road, like some 15 years from now. And hockey here with Jacksonville Icemen and the ECHL has been very good. Mm-hmm. So the Lightning, what they've created is amazing. And it's kind of like, think about the NFL, like what they do going across the pond. What they've done is basically say, okay, we've saturated the United States with football. Where can we go to pockets that we can introduce this to and grow it? And what does growing mean? Well, it means making more money, of course. And so you go to Mexico City, you go to London, you go to Germany. You go to places like that. You bring it wherever you can. Mm-hmm. That's within reason. Now, football's difficult to do that because not everybody over there even knows what it is, quite frankly. It's not like hockey, say, where everybody around the globe kind of knows what it is.
Sure.
But Florida is very much, to hockey, Florida is kind of, if you go back some 20 years ago, is kind of like the London for the NFL. It's untapped. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, what's going on down? Well, now you look at the Florida Everblades or what Orlando does and how they draw and what Jacksonville draws, and that's at the ECHL level. That's East Coast Hockey League. That's not even the second tier of hockey.
Yes.
I mean, the AHL is that.
Yeah.
And it draws, and people are excited about it, and they go to it. Now look at what Tampa does. And Tampa, what they've really done, and people won't talk about this as much, but if you ask like the Jacksonville Icemen, this is what they're trying to do with the Igloo, is they're trying to grow youth hockey around here. They're trying to make it a thing amongst adults and youth and grow, future NHL players, because that just doesn't happen in the state of Florida. And then on top of all that, you get a team like Florida, the Panthers, who have not been very good, but also they're in South Florida where it's just, it's kind of a mixed bag of fandom anyway, like whether you're going to get the draw. And I do continue to say this, I think if you were to rank the most irrelevant franchises in sports in general, I think Florida the Panthers would lead the way. I think they are the one where if you talk to just an average sports fan, they'd be like, do they still exist? Are they still a franchise? I remember them. I've heard of them, but are they still a franchise? That's what the fair. Florida Panthers on the top of mind list are nowhere close.
Yeah.
So it's a fascinating thing in hockey and the state of Florida, but you can't deny it's coming, and it's already here, but it's even growing and going to grow bigger and bigger in places like Jacksonville, continue to grow in Tampa, Orlando as well.
I can tell you that just living in Tampa and growing up in Tampa, the Lightning are so much bigger than the Bucks still. Brady helped, but Tampa is a hockey town. There is no doubt. There is no question. The Rays are a far third. The Bucks are a far second.
That's interesting to me. Now, what you got to do, though, I know what you're saying, but can you go back there in the last 3 months or 6 months? Because you still think it's that way with Brady and the Bucks winning the Super Bowl?
The Lightning won too, though. You got to keep it in mind. I'm just telling you, it's hard. It's a thing that people won't believe, but
I understand where you're coming from. It's a craziness. I still think for the first decade of, I still believe the Red Sox are king in New England. Mm-hmm. Even if they're not winning World Series, and you think about what the Patriots have become, and football's the most popular sport. Mm-hmm. Now, what's really crazy from when I grew up is the Patriots were the fourth team. I mean, it was Red Sox, Celtics, Bruins, and a crappy Patriots organization. Okay, and there might have been some colleges in other sports that were bigger than the Patriots. And now you could really go toe-to-toe, I'm assuming even ratings-wise. My guess is still – I'm not there, right? But my guess is I still think there's something just romantic about the Red Sox in New England that the Patriots will never catch up to. Mm-hmm. But their dominating success has obviously raised their profile to at least number 2, and some might argue number 1, and they would have a better feel for that. So It is. I get what you're saying, Casey. Very few times. By the way, that would be the only place. I asked this question to Steve Lehman actually last week. Like, are they excited about 3-2 possibility for the Titans or the Predators starting the year? Because the Predators have been big, right? I mean, the Avalanche was big. So I'm talking about NFL towns. Where does the hockey team rank?
To me, the Predators weren't big until they started making a run for the Stanley Cup.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying in the last few years, even though Tennessee's been pretty good, when was the last time, when did the Predators go to the Stanley Cup? Was that 4 years ago? Or is it even longer?
It's 15, 17 in that range.
Okay. When they had that little run, I think it felt like they were bigger than the Titans.
Oh, no, for sure. Because all the celebrities were, it was the cool thing to be a part of. Yeah. Was the Nashville Predators.
Like in Detroit, the Red Wings were so good for so long. Yeah. I would imagine because the Lions weren't good.
Oh, yeah.
They were bigger.
Well, truth be told, even now, so when I played in Detroit back in 2013, it would have been, the Wings weren't that good either. But every car had a Wings flag. It was Detroit. It was Detroit Red Wings.
It was part of the fabric of.
Yeah,
of
it's just
place.
they call it hockey town for a reason.
Absolutely.
So the Wings will always be on top of the Lions. And now with the Lions start winning, it could change, but 9 times.
Well, and Denver as well is another example, right? The Avalanche were on fire for a long time, and the Broncos have been good. I mean, the Broncos during that stretch had just come off Super Bowls and John Elway, but and I think the Broncos will be king always there, but I still think the Avalanche kind of closed that gap for a while. What's fascinating is when you just brought up, I didn't know Buffalo was this bad, but Buffalo,
it's
because Buffalo's a hockey town. Yeah. I mean, they love the Sabres. I mean, that is a big deal. And part of that is because outside of those early 90s years, the Bills have been pretty terrible too. Yeah. Right? Well, this Bills team's really good, and now you got the Sabres that aren't so good. And by the way, it's the same ownership group.
Oh, for sure. Right? Yeah, and like I said, I mean, and you have a player would you put Eichel top 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's top 10.
He was drafted second to McDavid. So, I mean, he has
the best player in the NHL right now.
He's the best player in the NHL. He has a lot to live up to.
But to put in perspective, it would be I think it'd be like Russell Wilson or possibly Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, it's like the Aaron Rodgers situation. Yeah. Except he's not playing though. So imagine Aaron Rodgers doesn't show up to training camp and says, well, I'm not playing because you guys messed up my neck or whatever, so I'm out. You better trade me. That's what's transpiring right now in Buffalo.
I guess we have these conversations, but I'm thinking about this. I'm like, this is a fun conversation right here. This is an interesting conversation. In part because I asked my own self, I'm like, listen, hockey's awesome to go to. I covered a decent amount of hockey in my early TV career, which included when I was in Providence. We covered the Hartford Wolfpack and the Providence Bruins in the AHL conference finals 2 or 3 years in a row. And I'm telling you guys, it was intense. It felt almost as intense as Yankees Red Sox in the ALCS. It was great, fights all the time. The fans, it was nuts. I mean, they were about an hour and 15 minutes apart, Yeah. And that helped. And it was a lot. Peter Laviolette was the coach. So, I mean, he obviously went on and did very good things in the NHL. He's already a name from his playing days, all that stuff. But that was so much fun to me. And I go back and I think okay, I covered a little hockey. The college hockey was cool. If you want to put a weird thing on your bucket list, go watch a hockey game at RPI, Rensselaer Polytech Institute in Troy, New York. It's awesome. It's awesome.
What a name drop.
Well, Adam Oates, by the way, is one of their alums. Yeah. And they're a good hockey school to begin with, but it's a fun place to go see a game. Hockey, we all know in general, if you're up on that glass and you're seeing it in live action, is a great sport to go watch. It's fun. That's why they have people out here at the Iceman game go and they're introducing people to the sport. It's a fun thing. The kids like it. Everybody likes it. But I just still can't grasp why a guy like me who used to like it and watch it, wasn't a diehard, but just doesn't flat out pay attention to anything. If a hockey headline comes across, I'm like, I mean, you might as well put a political headline there because I just don't pay attention to it. And it's a weird thing. Why doesn't everybody know his name? Yeah. In Buffalo, if he's that good of a player across sports, we're sports fans. You've heard of golfers' names. Sure. And you're not a golf fan. Why doesn't it just go to the casual fan in hockey?
I mean, obviously the people in Buffalo know who he is. Hockey fans know who he is. It's just a fact of, when we were growing up, well, at least when I was growing up as a kid, it was everywhere. Hockey was everywhere. It was in commercials. It was on ESPN. It was the top 10 plays. The Anaheim, the Mighty Ducks movie was big. Hockey was it was a cool thing. And, you know, I played it, and then I loved playing it, and it was my favorite sport at the time. Like, I grew up with it. I think, you know, once they started taking it off TV and hockey became harder to find, and all of a sudden it's Saturday morning and, you know, you watch your cartoons and all of a sudden there's a hockey game on, that goes away on Fox, and all of a sudden it becomes harder to find, well, then I think the love and the fandom kind of goes away from the casual fan. And it left just a bunch of diehards that were kind of like protective of it, if you will.
Yeah, in almost like a soccer kind of way.
Yeah.
Like soccer fans are a little bit like that. But I'm telling you, with all due respect to soccer, I don't know if there's a cool factor of soccer like hockey has. Like hockey has like the handshake lines. Hockey has Doc Emmerich until I think he's now. Is he getting out? Is he done now?
He is done.
Yeah.
Yes, he retired.
But they had the best announcer maybe in sports, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know playoff hockey is out of its mind good. We know going to a game is good. We think hockey players are cool. I can tell you this, covering hockey players are the best athletes to cover. They're probably the best athletes to cover is hockey players.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, like you add all that stuff up and it's still just not like, hey, oh yeah, that's so-and-so from Colorado or so-and-so from Colorado. Have we lost star power? Like, are there not enough stars like there were 20 years ago?
No, that's not the problem. But it's funny you say that because it's the Mike Trout effect in baseball. Mike Trout's the best player. He doesn't get covered because it's in L.A., and I think that's the problem. Your two best players in the NHL are Edmonton and Colorado, and it just hasn't – like the Rangers do not have the best player in the league. The Flyers do not have the best player in the league, and that's the problem. Claude Giroux's been the best player on the Flyers for years, but that's not going to pull. If Connor McDavid was on the Rangers, things change.
I'm going to give you one more reason why, okay? You tell me if I'm crazy, but I think I always like the psychology of sports and really a sports fan, how we get to where we get. And in the NFL is so popular for a myriad of reasons, betting, fantasy football, all this stuff. It's like elevated so much, violence, of course. But you can name every quarterback in the game, right?
Yeah.
In even Major League Baseball, you can name most of the power hitters or incredible pitchers. Yeah. In basketball, you can name the studs, you know, the shooters, the guys scoring 30-plus a game.
You can most likely name at least one player on every single team on NBA.
And you know who the scorer is, right? You know who LeBron is. You know who Russell Westbrook is. You know who these guys are.
Yeah.
Hockey doesn't necessarily have that. They have goalies, but not every goalie's good. Like, it's not like the hardest position to play in sports like there is in football with the quarterbacks. And they're not always the highest paid guy, I don't think.
But it's still the most respected position in hockey.
Absolutely. Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily – you don't talk about that position like you talk about the quarterback or the shortstop or the power hitter hitting number 3 in the lineup or the ace pitcher or Bryson DeChambeau who can hit it 5 miles, right? Like, there's not the position, and it all blends together into this beautiful team unison sport where you might have the best forward, or you might have the best defenseman, or you might have the best goalie, or you might just have the deepest bench. But it just doesn't favor a position or a skill to the point where maybe some of the other sports do. Like power hitting in baseball, a guy that can hit 50 home runs is a commodity that you can't find. What's that commodity in hockey that people are like, man, we got to go. There's only 10 people that can do it like this. I don't know if that's they have that. You know what I mean?
No, I get exactly what you're saying. I mean, there's a few ways you can go with that. I agree with you. I think in terms of the goalie position, they rotate goalies in and out now.
They do, yeah.
Like, very rarely will a goalie play the entire season. You know, it's not like pitching, though. I mean, pitchers only pitch, once every 4 or 5 games? Yeah, 5 days. But like so goalies aren't really as coveted, I feel like, as they were back in the day when you had your Dominic Hasiks, when you had your Patrick Waz and things like that. Now, like Tuukka Rask from Boston a couple years ago made a name for himself because how good he was in the playoffs.
Well, and Tampa's goalie won them the playoffs last year.
Vazzy's the best goalie in the league.
But I
it's
don't
not
know.
close.
Like, I couldn't name his name. I had you once you said it. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
No, sure.
Yeah, you know.
I just think honestly, I think it's a lack of coverage. I really do. I just think it's a lack of, You don't see these guys in commercials as you used to. You don't see them being talked about. Now, maybe it's changing because I know like ESPN Plus bought the rights of everything.
That will help.
So
again,
that's
ESPN is a major factor in this
course.
stuff. Like you said about the NBA, ESPN is major here. Whether you like the network or not, they are major at force feeding us what they have.
For sure.
And that is NBC can't do it the way they do it. Fox is trying, but they're not there yet. And so you just can't force feed it. Now, I'll give you, I tried to stay away from my reasoning until all the way at the end, but I do think this is a sincere factor, and I think it hurts in the women's golf. I think it hurts in tennis. Is there are a lot of names in hockey because it's so global that don't roll off our tongues. Here in the United States that we have a hard time pronouncing.
Yeah.
Like, baseball doesn't have that problem usually.
Made it pretty easy on us for a long time.
He did. Wayne Gretzky was easy, right? Yeah. And by the way, I'm not saying that they should change their names. I'm just saying it's such a global sport that the American sports fan wants it easy. And so, unless even Ovechkin, as great as he is an easy name to say. Yeah. Alex Ovechkin. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, but you start throwing around some hockey names now, and you're like, how do you say that again? Buy me a vowel, right? I mean, it's like there is not as much of that in basketball, in football, and in baseball. And I don't think that's by the way, I think it's a very subconscious thing, but I think that's hurt like men's and women's tennis over the years because it's global. I mean, it is global. By the way, that's not a bad thing. Like, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm just saying from the American sports fan, I think it's part of the reason maybe soccer still doesn't catch on as much. Yeah. Now, soccer makes it easy. One name, Messi.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right?
For sure.
I don't know. By the way, I might be dead wrong about that, but I've always thought that kind of plays into our psyche a little bit about the sport of hockey.
No, for sure. But also, like, when you look at it in terms of Americans, like, there's not a lot of great American hockey players right now.
Well, and that's true, too.
Yeah, Austin
Much
Matthews, Patrick Kane still doing the thing, but, there's not that American to really get behind right now.
I couldn't even name you.
Eichel's probably might be the best American player.
Who?
And Eichel, whatever, from Buffalo.
We are trying. I couldn't name a tennis player in the men's game that I'm supposed to get behind.
Yeah.
I can name Coco Gauff now on the women's side that we hope is like the next thing after Serena Williams. Yeah. But I can't name, and that, again, for the American sports fan, that's tough.
No,
One, maybe it's so global, but two, you don't have a star you can rally around, and we usually want more than one.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So, wow, I didn't think we'd go 25 minutes on hockey to start the show.
Here we are, man.
And the people on YouTube love it, by the way.
That was a fun conversation. That was fun.
It started with, we don't know what's going on with hockey, and now everyone's in it on hockey on YouTube, so we appreciate y'all.
I love it. I love sports. All right, we'll be back on ESPN 690. Some big news out of the Jags, by the way, on Miles Jack. We talk about that and the impact on the game Sunday. That is coming up, too, on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Warm today under partly to mostly sunny skies. Highs in the mid-80s. It'll be mostly clear tonight into the mid-60s and a very warm Friday. Partly sunny skies tomorrow with highs in the upper 80s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss Beards BOGO Wedding Band Sale happening now through October 24th.
Mr. and Mrs. Flavor, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. I'm Barry, the flavor of berry.
I'm Janet. I'm bitter.
And I understand your son is the flavor menthol?
Yes, he's the menthol in a menthol cigarette.
He's such a disappointment. Out there getting people addicted, being used by big tobacco to target black people. He could have been a lozenge.
Menthol cigarettes are harder to quit than regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Today, I took someone to their first job.
Today, I helped someone get to a medical appointment.
Today, I helped someone see their loved ones.
Today, I took someone to see a concert.
JTA bus operators are professional, trained, courteous, and proud. Become a driver of change. JTA is now hiring bus operators and is offering $10,000 to $15,000 hiring bonuses. On-the-job training provided. CDL training available. To apply, log on to go.jtafla.com/drive or call 904-630-3100. That's 630-3100 to become a driver of change.
Beard's Diamonds has been busy this fall, getting their showcases ready for the largest inventory of wedding bands in North Florida.
So if you're getting married soon or want to upgrade your bands, don't miss Beard's Diamonds' incredible buy one, get one wedding band sale.
Going on now and only at Beard's Diamonds.
All wedding bands are buy one, get one free. Save thousands.
Plus, all stackables, all right-hand rings, all eternity bands, and more are buy one, get one free.
See hundreds of the latest styles from famous designers at beardsdiamonds.com.
It's the largest selection of wedding bands in North Florida at the guaranteed lowest price.
Couples wait for this sale all year.
Buy any wedding band and get the other band free.
Now you can go bigger and better with the band she's always dreamed of during Beard's Buy One, Get One sale. Going on now through the 24th.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
So, have you noticed when you watch the news that lots of crimes are recorded on cameras, especially ding-dong doorbells? Well, that's because they don't have proper security systems with them. Cameras are very sophisticated today and have multiple options. That's why you should deal with the experts at SafeTouch Security. When combined with a SafeTouch security system, the possibilities are endless. And when the SafeTouch experts install your cameras, they're virtually hack-resistant. And SafeTouch never shares your internet or personal information. So for the latest info on NVR cameras, digital cameras, or cameras with cloud storage, SafeTouch can help you choose the cameras that are right for you and your family. And even the best camera needs a SafeTouch security system. Don't give the bad guys a doorway to invade your home and family. Call SafeTouch today and see the many options available to your home and business. You'll be surprised how affordable a new SafeTouch integrated system can be. Call now while we still have our most popular options available, or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
I've been telling you for months now about Easy Garage Solutions. We absolutely love what we've done with the garage, and that is get everything off the floor, hang it on the walls, right? Get your bikes. Bikes take up a lot of space. We have a family of 4, and what we've done is hang it on that monkey bar technology with Easy Garage Solutions. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Saves so much space. And then how about all the bins and boxes they had accumulated over the years? We've been here 14 years in our garage. They were everywhere. We don't use it to park the cars, I can tell you that. Well, Easy Garage Solutions, now we have it hanging from the ceiling above the garage doors when they're up to get a good visual, and it saves so much floor space. And we've been able to do other things like put that hitting net in there, take some hacks now with the kids, try a ping pong table. Easy Garage Solutions. You can do the same. Make a man cave out of it. Get your cars in there. Easy Garage Solutions. Check out EasyGarageSolutions.com. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy.
Hey, what's up? It's Austin Lane. Check out Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com.
I did the one trip when I was at Notre Dame. We went to Dublin, Ireland. But as a coach, all you worry about is make sure the guys. We had a team meeting yesterday about how, the whole sports performance model, how to take care of yourself to get, you have to keep these guys awake when we get over there. So I'm concerned about all that stuff.
Yeah, good luck with that. I've tried to take that trip over there and trying to go to sleep on the plane at like 6 o'clock when you fly. Yeah. Not easy. I get the idea, though. Of course, athletes can kind of sleep easier and at weird times, right? Were you a nap guy?
Oh, yeah, always.
In the locker room?
What do you mean? Like before?
Like in between meetings, say.
Like during training camp?
Anytime.
Yeah, I mean, during training camp for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like during the regular season, you didn't really have time for a nap. But during training camp, I mean, at least the way our schedule is set up, I took a nice one.
You're still a nap guy.
Oh, yeah, at least 20 minutes a day. Don't exceed 40. Because then you start messing up your...
It has to be between 20 and 40?
Ideally, it would be between 20 and 30. If you start crossing the 30 threshold, then you wake up groggy. Because now you're going into deep sleep instead of just that restorative sleep.
So are you to the...
Welcome to a sleep podcast, everybody.
Well, listen, we just talked hockey for 20 minutes.
Sure.
I was going to go soccer.
Yeah.
But I figured for the next 20, we just do everything but football show today.
Yeah. No, that's cool. It's cool. And hey, Casey, hope you enjoy the hockey talk because we won't talk about it again until the Stanley Cup now.
That's true. Well, that's true. We're doing everything but football. Oh, wait, there are no people listening right now. Wait, back to the Jags.
Yeah, there you go.
No, seriously, so you're a nap guy. Do you feel like out of place if you don't get your nap in?
I can tell, yes. I mean, I don't want to say I'm out of place and like I'm a pain to be around. Like I can adjust, but I can definitely tell a difference between if I've had a nap and I haven't had a nap.
I can see why people like naps, but I have never been a nap guy at all. And I'm a coffee guy, and I just have never been a nap guy. Like I can seriously count on one hand how many naps I've taken in my life.
Wow.
Well, I mean, my adult life. Let's just say that. I'm sure I did as a kid.
Yeah, I hope so.
I didn't have control over it. They said, you're a pain in the ass. Go take a nap.
Those good old kindergarten days, yeah.
Casey, you a napper?
I wish. Like, I really desperately wish I can't fall asleep.
I'll tell you how this. I'm sleeping way more than I've ever slept.
Yeah.
Now. I'm making a pointed effort to do it.
Good.
All this sleep and all this sports science stuff over the years. By the way, it's not just urban. Over the years, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should try this a little bit more.
How many hours you get into a night?
I mean, some nights. I mean, I'd say on average, I'd say 7.
Oof,
which
good. That's
I'm
good.
Get up to 7.
That's good.
I used to be. I mean, I'll poke around after if I can get in there early enough. I mean, I don't mind sleeping until 8:30 sometimes. And so I'll get over 8. I'll get 8. I can get 8.
Okay.
I used to, seriously, if I slept 8 hours, I'd have a headache like for the next 4 hours.
It would just be bad for your body?
I hated it. Yeah, like I didn't think I functioned well or as well.
Sure.
On 8. I'd rather have like 5 or 6.
Well, that's just no way to live, Brent.
But now I'm up to like 7.
7's kind of that's kind of the wheelhouse. You get 7, you're good to go.
Is that good?
Yeah.
That feels pretty good.
Yeah.
So anyway. There we go.
I get 9.
Really? You're a 9 guy?
Yeah.
Dang,
like midnight
man.
to like 9. Yeah.
Optimized, huh?
Yeah. It's funny. It's
no
like
wonder you always come up with creative stuff.
Here we
For
go.
real. He's optimized.
Optimized.
I would kill to be optimized these days.
I was going to say, you're nap. You might have to take 2 naps.
I know. I wish, man. No, just 1 nap. It's all good, though.
The sleep stuff fascinates me. How much science there is out on sleep.
I mean, I
tried to debunk it for a long time, but it's science.
I told the story back when my rookie year, Aaron Campman, of a very highly regarded defensive end who, pending injuries, would have had a fantastic career, got 10 hours of sleep a night. And I said, I don't get how that's possible because you have a family and everything. He's like, just go to bed really early. I'm like, but you're missing, like, Monday Night Football's on and you're going to sleep.
I've always wondered this, and I'm not saying it's just a different world, right? So you take somebody like Campman. At the time, he's got basically 2 things in his world to worry about. Playing football and whatever it takes to play football, like his body, eat right, and his family. I just think most people have a lot more to worry about.
Wait, who are we talking about again?
Campman. Like, so to get your like, you don't have to, you're not like going to, you don't need to be, like, say some people like on our world, we're creative side, right? You're thinking of ideas.
Sure.
Like, you don't have to think about tomorrow's schedule or how you might not be there, might impact somebody else, or
so you're underselling how vigorous Aaron Catman's life was when he played in the NFL.
I say it's very directed.
Okay.
And like I said, I mean, I wouldn't want to train for the hours that he had to train,
which was a lot,
which
football. Was crazy. And cold tubs.
But I just think his mind is not cluttered. Probably when you're a professional athlete. Yeah. I think your mind is not. By the way, you're also making enough money where you can have a lot of people do things that maybe everyday person does.
I got you.
So, and I don't. By the way, I'm not sure I look at this the right way, but I've just kind of wondered, like, if you can have that kind of tunnel vision where you're just like, okay, I got to worry about my wife and the kids, because I always got to worry about that, even though my wife's probably taking care of 95% of the things, and I got to worry about football and doing my job to the best because that's what feeds the family.
Correct.
I don't have to worry about cutting the lawn.
I'm sure he did.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't know, man.
That the everyday person has to worry about.
Dude, the dude built a house in Iowa, like with his bare. I'm not lying. He built a house with his bare hands when he was done playing football.
I guess what we're getting at here is Aaron Catman might not have been a good example.
No, horrible example. Horrible example. Because I guarantee, like, that guy was doing everything else too. Like he was leading like a Bible study, I'm sure, and one night and then another night, like he's hosting like a church. Yeah, dude, he's all over the place.
I didn't bring up Miles Jack for reasons. He's making candles. He's got chickens.
He's got bees.
He's got bees.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Miles got a lot going on.
Social media, I'm sure he's active on that. That's a job in itself.
But I get.
You know what I mean? No, so to be fair, when you're in the league, yes, there's definitely a linear focus in terms of
that's a good word for it.
Taking care of yourself, being optimized, if you will. So I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Going to the beach bars.
Well, you didn't have family at the time, so you sub-family for the beach bars.
Hey, beach bars were my family. Yes. Okay? Enough said.
Oh, man. Where are we going today?
Hey, you're taking us there.
I don't know how I'm getting here.
Hey, Captain, I don't know where do you want to go?
I feel like I need to sit on a couch somewhere or something.
Yeah. I mean, this is on you right now.
Hey, Josh says bees. No, we're serious. Like, he is into bees.
Yeah, Miles Jack's got some bee boxes.
Oh, yeah.
I wish you would have hit me up and let me know, but
by the way, he just got a new place, and he's got, like, a bunch of chickens.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah.
Like, for the eggs?
He moved.
For eggs?
I don't know exact story why.
Okay.
But he's got a lot.
I don't know if he's like, butchering them and then having his. Well, you can't. What is so funny about that?
I don't think he is.
Okay. I mean, that's a common thing, right?
I know. I know you're in love with the butcher word lately.
I've been in love with the butcher word. But no, I mean, if you have a bunch of cage-free, free-range chickens, yeah, they taste a lot better. I don't know.
Yeah, but see, here's Big Diesel says pro athletes are just more disciplined. I would argue, okay, they're very disciplined. They are. I don't know if they're more disciplined. I think they have less to worry about.
Brent sounds like a hater now.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to hate.
Sounded like a hater now.
I just think the reality is the guy working at Publix from 9 to 5 has a lot more things to worry about than the pro athlete does. Like, his mind's going to be split up between 5 to 10 different things.
Sure, no, without a doubt.
Not then bagging the groceries or butchering the meat.
Sure, everybody hustles their own way, but the guy at Publix, his job security probably lasts longer than 2.5 years on average.
That is true. I'm not. By the way, I'm just telling you, it's done different ways.
Kind of being a hater.
I'm not being a hater.
Okay.
I'm not. By the way,
this screen's the worst thing that ever happened to Brent Martineau. By the way, because wait till the complaints start filing and Brent gets upset.
Actually, I wish the Jags would be more directed at the task at hand these days.
Linear focus, Jaguars. Yeah. Linear focus. Don't worry about the bars. Don't worry about over here.
Don't worry about the family.
Yes.
Okay? Let's put the family aside.
Yes.
Right?
I agree with you.
Let's just worry about football.
Yeah. Well, Brent, don't tell me that, because they sent Trevor Lawrence a bread maker, a toaster. So, like that, I mean, we made it about family really quick, all right? Yeah. It was supposed to be about football, but now it's about family.
That is true. I don't know, it was a toaster, but Trevor is a bread maker.
Yeah, he's a bread maker.
That's for
toaster,
sure.
Bread maker, whatever.
All right. So, hey, Miles Jack isn't making, we're going to go in commercial in a second, but Miles Jack's not making the trip.
Yeah.
As soon as they said, I started with a back injury, it looked like, but then it was oblique. As soon as they said oblique, I didn't even plan for him in this game, because that's not like hey, go rest it, go put some ice on it, go to the cold tub. That's in fact, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of guys that have an oblique or ab, they end up flying up to Philadelphia to see a specialist. I don't know if he's doing that, but we've seen that before. Guys like Alan Hearns and others, it kind of goes into the sports hernia category. Mm-hmm. The groin. I mean, they're all kind of connected in a weird way.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised to see oblique and Miles out of this game.
No, I mean, anytime you hear the word oblique, it definitely is a rough one, because, like, yeah, you hear sometimes quads, hamstrings, that's serious, but like an oblique, that's your core. And sometimes it gets neglected, but your core is probably the most important component of playing football.
Oh, yeah?
Because you use it on every single play. So, yeah, anytime you strain that or you hamper that, it's definitely a major setback. Now, I'll be honest. I mean, I kind of had a dad bod when I played defensive line, about 270.
Yeah,
so I had a belly. Didn't have to worry about my obliques getting stretched out because I had enough, flab going on there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have like good abs to strain your oblique, though.
I mean, probably not, Brent. That was more of a joke, right? I'm just kidding. I mean, obviously not.
I don't know, just wondering. Really.
I don't think so. I mean, but they always say, like, if you're more, like the body fat thing. Remember DK Metcalf?
Yeah.
He was like a freakishly. Yeah. Everybody was worried about he was gonna tear something or pull something because of the less body fat.
Well,
so there's something to be said for that.
I really believe this. If you ever saw, like, the body of Marquise Lee, he looked like a racehorse.
Brent, don't talk to me about bodies of Marquise Lee when you haven't seen Greg Jones, apparently.
No, I have, but I'm just saying Marquise Lee is a guy I can give you examples that was getting hurt.
I got you.
Right? And so just the smallest of things, but he was built like he was just like a racehorse, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same idea. Like, if you get a racehorse to the Kentucky Derby and all of a sudden it feels a little something and they're like, okay, can't run.
Yeah.
Well, that was a little bit like Marquise Lee. I mean, he was and guys with those kind of bodies in the NFL, I think they do run, and you feel like they run the risk.
True.
Basically, you'd rather have the dad bod, quite frankly.
Absolutely. No, without a doubt.
Especially
dad bods all day.
Yeah. Dad bod guy is usually less on the oblique, the core, the groin.
Look at Tom Brady. Look at Tom Brady. You seen the beach photos with him and Giselle or whatever. Like, hey, he ain't hurt nothing, though.
Man, what a start to this show. We'll be back.
Action
Sports Jacks on ESPN.
What are we doing?
Oh, we just did. Miles Jack isn't making the trip.
Okay.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jacks. If you can't catch the show live, just search Action Sports Jacks wherever you get your podcasts to make sure you don't miss moments like this.
Now, keep in mind, you're sitting next to Mr. Thanksgiving right now. Because I absolutely stuffed the stat column.
You sure did.
And they called me Mr. Thanksgiving.
Nobody
called
brag. Nobody called you that.
I don't want to brag.
You called yourself that, maybe.
I don't want to brag. We're talking 4 points.
Yep.
We're talking 2 rebounds.
Yep.
We're talking a steal.
Okay.
We're talking a block.
Yep.
And I almost broke a guy's ankle. I'm just saying, if you find yourselves around some Jacksonville Giants and all of a sudden one of them starts saying, is that stovetop dressing?
Oh, jeez.
What is that? Is that cranberry sauce? Oh, Mr. Thanksgiving's in the house. And that's who you know they're talking about me.
Hey, sports fans, are you ready to get in on a piece of the action? The only thing better than your football team winning is when you have some skin in the game. This is Ultimate Vegas insider John Anthony, and if you're looking to cash in on tonight's big game, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, I've got you covered. Documented 77% against the spread. Call 1-800-244-5506 for my absolutely free side and total on the recorded message line. That's 1-800-244-5506. What are you waiting for? Get off the sideline. Call 1-800-244-5506 now. Tampa Bay, Philadelphia. Side and total. Free on the recorded message line. Every touchdown and victory dance just got that much sweeter. But before you get in on the action, call 1-800-244-5506 or go to VegasScoresAndOdds.com. Sponsored by JFSR Group.
The Center for Health and Sports Medicine delivers an individualized 360-degree approach to your health, providing a whole-person approach to primary care and sports medicine. With primary care and sports medicine physicians, mental health counselors, the Sports Performance Lab, and 24/7 on-site state-of-the-art wellness center, all under one roof, they'll work to maximize your health by creating a foundational focus on physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. The MD VIP program provides even more benefits, like appointment guarantees and after-hour care. Learn more at jacksfamilysportsmed.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Just be positive. Your Community First Mortgage champions make sure you get a great rate, a quick close, and can save you about $3,000 in closing costs. Apply at communityfirstfl.org. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Temperatures keep climbing, and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So, 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jax. After you listen to us from 3 to 6 today, you can hear Thursday Night Football as Tom Brady and the Bucks travel to Philly to take on Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Coverage starts at 8 right here on ESPN 690.
Sure, several times, at a much different level. The Bowling Green was 1-10, 2-9, and a bunch of losses, and turned it pretty quickly in Utah. And so, yeah, it's been years. But once again, it all goes back to me, to this locker room. And I was walking off the field with one of our strength assistants, and as far as on time, as far as working out, taking care of their bodies, as far as the loyalty amongst that locker room, arguably the best I've been around.
Well, he continues to pump up the locker room. That is Urban Meyer. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, the underbelly of what's going on. Does it still exist? I still think there's a moderate tone and not all is forgotten. I'm not sure they've moved on enough. Does a win help that? Does time help that? Does getting away from the building help that on the bye week? There's a lot could help that. None more than a win for the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course. And that's just something to keep an eye on if they can do it. I do wonder this question because we're having a lot of conversations about this stuff. Like, is this like the beginning of the end? If I'm being completely honest, I feel like what the last couple of weeks has done around here is basically tell me that even if you thought Urban was going to be here for a handful of years or 3 years or whatever, I don't feel that anymore. I feel at some point this is going to end earlier than anticipated. Now, that's a hard line to say, right? I just said earlier than anticipated. There are a lot of people around the country, even here when Urban was hired, that immediately they said this is going to end pretty quick because that's Urban's MO. Well, that's not really factual, though. The Urban's MO is not to leave after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years. His MO, if you want to go that route, was more 5, 6, 7 years at those other stops. So this is not the same. Even if he doesn't make it 5 years, this would be different. But I really feel like, and it's just a gut feeling as of now, that I don't see Urban. I'm not even sure if I see Urban here in 2022, like in some way, shape, or form. It just feels clunky right now. It feels like it's not going to work. It feels like, okay, what's going on behind the scenes? Like, how's this being received? And some of that might be the 0-5, but I don't feel like a lot of it's the 0-5. That's the crazy part of all this. So my main question and curiosity is, if you get your mind off that, can Urban rally this thing? Can he come back from this thing? I don't think it takes just one win. That's my point. I said yesterday, I think Urban's one of the great front runners. If he, let's just say for some reason they roll off 4 out of 5, something like that. Is that like, hey man, we're glad he stuck around? Is that, hey, good, they got a thing going now? This is what we thought it could be. This is going in a good direction. This would be, hey, Shad doesn't want to change this now. I mean, look, they're taking steps. The quarterback's growing. They're winning games. I guess, I mean, is that what we get to if they can kind of go on a little bit of a run winning-wise? Do we feel differently about the long-term prognosis of Urban Meyer as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah, I mean, if you can go on a 3 or 4 game winning streak, then absolutely. Then all the concerns, all the negativity that you've been feeling, it seems like the past 4 weeks or so, to me, that goes away. Like, let's be honest. Playoffs, at least for a lot of people this year, weren't the expectation. Now, I think a better product than what we saw last year was a fair expectation. I think Trevor Lawrence taking the Jaguars to new heights, or at least showing that he's capable of doing that, is an expectation. And I think a culture that, was kind of dragged through the mud the past couple of years, that getting fixed was an expectation as well. Well, set aside from Trevor Lawrence, a lot of those other expectations haven't really been met yet, or they haven't really shown a sign of being met. So I think a few wins can definitely turn all those things around.
Let me ask you this also about Urban. We spent a lot of time on Urban the last couple of weeks. I get it. But these things still come. It's still, I could just tell you off the air, it's a big topic still in the circles that I'm in, that what's going to happen? What is going on? How much? What do you think right now what's the main issue with Urban as it stands? Has the flying home with the team just gone? Okay, we talked about it enough. The video, is that boom gone? Is there now like this, hey, can he really do this? Has he lost a little bit off his fastball? Like, why the news conference is a Sunday, Monday? Because I'll be honest with you, sitting here on a Thursday, I'm still having conversations and still like kind of fired up with the idea that at 1 o'clock on Monday, he didn't know that James Robinson had 6 carries in the second half. Mm-hmm. Like, that's me. I don't know if everybody else is. But now, like, that's what I feel like I'm starting to question. Like, maybe he just, after taking years off, at this time doesn't have what he used to have. Or maybe the transition to the NFL isn't going to work, like a lot of people say.
See, I just think from the college game to the pro game, I think that his heart is in the right spot in terms of how he wants to go about his coaching style and everything. But the issue is that you didn't recruit these guys.
Yeah.
Like these aren't, 5-star athletes where you have an advantage in athleticism, physicality, size, you name it, every single week in, week out in college football on a Saturday. That's not the case anymore. Now the playing field is more even. And sometimes you're behind the 8 ball like the Jaguars are in terms of, I think, personnel and who they have on the roster. So when you're behind the 8 ball, you have to find different ways to win because you can't rely on just your 5-star recruiting skills anymore. And that's what we're going through right now. He has to figure out a way to get to his players if he can anymore and try to get their best abilities out of them.
Yeah, he's very confusing to me, though, because people would be like, okay, he just has recruits. He's not that great of a coach. Well, I don't see that from the coaching staff. I think they've coached some pretty good things, too. Now, it's been a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like, hey, they are getting out-coached every second of they're just incompetent.
No, but how many times are we talking about guys being in the wrong position, guys not being able to do so? Yes. I mean, that warrants discussion as well.
I also wouldn't put them in for Coach of the Year.
No, sure.
By any means.
Yeah.
We continue to talk about the Jags and what else is going on, including quarterbacks, coming up next on ESPN 690. If you're like me, you come home from work and walk through a messy garage hurdling shoes and bats and bikes. Well, get the Easy Garage solution that I got. It's called Easy Garage Solutions. One-of-a-kind monkey bar technology that will last a lifetime. Hang the bikes and the lawn equipment. Easy Garage Solutions. Shelving and overhead storage for boxes and bins. Easy Garage Solutions. Cabinets and flooring available too. Easy Garage Solutions. Find them at easygaragesolutions.com. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy. I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper, so many flavors to choose from. And of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
Whether you're a rock-solid hard athlete or a hardcore fan, in Little League, a pro, or a weekend warrior, Cora Physical Therapy is here to help you reach your goals. We're happy to announce that Cora is now open in Kingsland, on Boone and Haddock, and we're coming soon to Brunswick. With a total of 17 clinics in the Jacksonville region, there's sure to be one near your home or work. Call or come in today for a free screening. No physician's referral needed. CoraPhysicalTherapy.com, treating everyone right.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. The St. Louis Cardinals fire manager Mike Schilt today. Team president John Mozeliak says this was something that popped up recently, citing philosophical differences. Schilt took the team to the postseason in all of his 3 full years on the job. The first postseason series between the Dodgers and Giants goes to a winner-take-all Game 5 tonight in San Francisco, 8:30 Eastern for our coverage on ESPN Radio. ESPN's Buster Olney reports Yankees hitting coach Marcus Timms and third base coach Phil Nevin will not get new contracts with the team. ESPN reported earlier this week that team owner Hal Steinbrenner is inclined to keep manager Aaron Boone, but there's no decision yet. For now, Kyrie Irving is not an active member of the Brooklyn Nets. Irving is not vaccinated against COVID-19. ESPN's Jay Williams.
I stand by Kyrie. You're not playing this game by anybody else's rules but yours when it comes to your decision process and how you're coming to make that decision.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
They are different, but they're not. The offense, they're I think they're both excellent quarterbacks. We had good conversations with Jacoby. I've known him since we actually recruited him out of high school. So he's played really well, thrown the ball really well, but we believe it's going to be Tua, is our understanding. But we're certainly going to get plenty of film to study Jacoby.
Are the Miami Dolphins better with Tua or Jacoby Brissett?
Tua.
They are?
Yeah, I think the ceiling is higher with Tua right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you, but I also think Jacoby Brissett has now played a lot of football in his life. So I'm almost – and I guess I asked that 2 different ways. Yeah, I would agree with you. I would go with Tua and see where he ends up, right? I still want to see that. I'm not a huge fan of Tua having a great career in the NFL, but I also don't think he's just going to fizzle out and be bad.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Now, is that good enough for the Miami Dolphins? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a weird thing about this game on Sunday that, one, I really don't think it matters who plays.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a big enough difference that I'm like, oh, I got to prepare for this and that and this and that. I don't think it matters. And if I'm the Miami Dolphins, to win me a game right now, a guy that I don't know how to, like the unknown on Tua this time is coming off the injury. How are the ribs? How will he play? Will he be rusty? Like, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I might feel better with Brissett out there for this one game.
Mm-hmm.
Because, quite frankly, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm saying, all right, the way to beat the Jags is to not lose to the Jags.
Yeah.
And so I think Brissett can do that for me.
Sure.
Tua, I'm not so sure. Like, not Tua's been like this mistake, driven guy since it's been in the league, but I just wonder. I just think there's more curiosities. You know who Brissett is. I'm still not sure we know who Tua is, and I think sometimes that can be a scary proposition.
Well, no, I hear you. Keep in mind, he's only played in one game this season, and that game he beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the ceiling is better.
That's kind of who we thought they would be, right? The Dolphins 17-16,
beating New
win
England
with your defense, right?
Yeah,
Make a couple
I would
plays.
say so. Yeah, and I think he got hurt right away in Buffalo, so he didn't really get a chance to do anything. Yeah, obviously, like the book on Tua, that there's still a lot that needs to be, diagnosed and checked out. Where he was drafted, expectations coming out of college, all that stuff. Yeah, he probably hasn't lived up to him quite yet. But, like, I'm not going to throw away this season for him just because, well, you played in one game and you won it. So, like, I'm not ready to sit here and say, well, he's a bust and, like, they should go in a different direction. And even if he's not 100%, they should start Brissett. Like, I still think he is the better quarterback, and we'll see from there.
All right, well, let's get South Beach Gary on and ask him. He's been hanging around. It's Dolphins week around here for South Beach Gary.
Hey, Brian, I can't believe what you were saying about Urban. I told you guys it was a bad hire before the season. He wasn't a fit in the NFL. But I can't believe this is as negative as I've heard you, Brent.
Just trying to be there's not much to defend here.
No sunshine, and where'd the sunshine and rainbows go?
Well, there's still time.
Overcast.
There's still time. But, I mean, listen, I don't know. Coming off the last couple of weeks, I'm not really sure what I could say to I'm not here to spin anything. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the stuff that's coming out.
We know the Whirlybird, he got that dancing idea from Urban. We know that. But come on, without a question, Austin, you told me 100% too is better. Jacoby Brissett has just been terrible. I don't think he's completed a very high percentage of passes over 10 yards. I mean, the team responds better for Tua. Tua's got a winning record. The Dolphins get back on track on Sunday, and the losing streak goes to 21.
Hey, South Beach Gary, I mean, there's got to be concern about Miami, though. This is not the Miami team you thought you'd watch. Xavier Howard, we've raved about the guy before. He's been not so good. And by the way, he didn't practice, so I'm not sure if he's making the trip. We know Miles Jack isn't making the trip, but I think they might be without Howard. And the defense just hasn't been good, man. I mean, Flores is a defensive guy, and they're giving up points left and right.
The defense hasn't been good, but I got faith for them to turn around. The big thing, though, guys, that they found last week, they put Eichenberg back at left tackle, and they moved Austin Jackson inside a guard where he needs to be. And they're figuring out the offensive line better. Eichenberg's much better on the left side, and you're going to see a much improved offensive line from the Dolphins moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see. Wait till
Thanks,
Josh
guys.
Allen gets all over him. I mean, wait till Caleb on Chase comes in with a hat trick in London.
I don't think so. And they got problems at receivers, by the way. No Devontae Parker.
The Dolphins are just about as average as the day is long. Let's be honest, right?
Will Fuller playing, though, or not? No? Okay. Interesting.
The Dolphins are just
Still
there.
waiting on that one.
You know, like sometimes they're a team. Listen, the Jags are bad.
Well,
right? The Lions are bad.
Can I be honest with you? I don't want you to get hurt here. Because I sense your vibes, and we're going to do a vibe check right now, as we call it in the morning show, a little vibe check.
Thank you.
I get the sense that you're underappreciating.
Good time to mention the relevant app, RELEVNT. Follow the ESPN 690 vibe.
I get the sense that, okay, you think Tua isn't that good, and maybe that's justified, and maybe you played Jacoby Brissett. I get the sense that you think right now that Miami can't blow out Jacksonville, and you think that Jacksonville could easily win this game. Which they could.
Well, first of all, Jacksonville can't do anything easily, okay, so let's avoid that word.
Let's not set ourselves up for a disappointment where you think the Jaguars are going to come into London and just blow the doors off Miami, because that's the vibe that I'm getting from you.
It's a decent vibe of without the blowing the doors off.
Okay.
I will agree with you on this. I don't think the Dolphins are – this could be very dangerous. I don't think the Dolphins are blowing anybody out material, even the Jags.
Sure.
I don't see that. Like I said, I was afraid. I'll tell anybody to listen last week. I thought the Jags were going to get absolutely hammered by the Titans. Now, the scoreboard kind of says it did, but we didn't. Come on, we know the game was. For 50 minutes, they didn't get crushed.
No, sure, but look at the scoreboard, man.
As I'm saying that, I'm like, well, it's 37-19.
Yeah. I mean, what do you call that?
Come on. You saw the game.
Come on.
All right, well, I thought it was going to be like 24-3 at halftime.
Okay.
It was 24-13.
Sure.
Come on. All right, let's settle one
18-point
thing.
game, but I guess
Did the Jags get blown out, like the doors blown off on Sunday against the Titans?
You mean against the Dolphins?
No, did they?
Oh, did they? Lost by 18 points. Lost by 18 points, though. I mean, but I'm just saying, like,
the
okay.
Jags have made me think so on a relative basis.
Okay, but let's
like. I've seen Thursday nighters against the Titans.
Sure. No, and I've been there as well. Yes, yes, we have seen that.
Yeah.
But like, let's be honest. I forgot. Was the total 4.5? 4?
It was 4.5.
Okay. The spread.
I can't believe like Jacksonville didn't put the city of Jacksonville on that with Vegas.
But like, if Vegas would have put the spread like at 12 or 13, we're like, oh yeah, that's going to be a blowout. Like Brent, they lost by 18 points.
I know they did.
Okay, I mean. Not a good.
Nah, I get it.
At home.
I don't.
To a team that just got beat by the Giants.
When I think blowout, I think like.
Julio Jones wasn't playing. A.J. Brown wasn't that healthy.
When I think blowout, I think what I saw in Houston.
Okay.
That's what I think. Like, they were out of it by the second quarter.
Okay.
That's what I think of.
Okay.
I mean, 10 minutes ago, I stood a chance. So what I'm saying is the Dolphins.
I don't know what you want me to tell you, man.
I don't know either.
They lost by 18 to the Titans.
I don't think the Dolphins have it in them to blow anybody. I really think, like I was starting to say, the Lions are bad because they're bad. They're 0-5. I don't care if they're playing hard for their teary-eyed coach or whatever. But the Jags are bad.
The hating from you.
What?
Okay.
I mean, listen, if the Jags are going to suffer and I got to talk all this negative stuff about the Jags, I'm going to bring Detroit with me.
Okay.
So
I bet his players responded to that, though.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. You picking the Lions this week?
I'm not going to lie to you. I need the Lions to lose because I'm going super risky on Survivor, and I'm going Cincinnati.
Well, good luck with that one, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is risky.
Good luck with that one, Casey.
You got to trust the Cincinnati Bengals. The Jags are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are some teams that are just like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Miami's one of those teams. Like, there's nothing that you get excited about with the Miami Dolphins.
Sure.
I'm a little surprised they're 1-4. I'm surprised that on the heels of last year they haven't taken a step of some kind. I didn't expect them to be great because I really didn't expect their quarterback to be great.
But they lost. Brent, like Tua went out game 1. Or I'm sorry, game 2.
Yeah,
like
I get it.
in the
They've
game.
lost.
Okay.
And some of that they went now 4 losses because. But do you feel like they've lost because of Tua? You think they've lost because Tua's not there?
I mean, I think it's a part.
I mean, this isn't Tom Brady leaving the Bucs.
No,
I mean,
obviously,
Joe Burrow and the Bengals. This isn't
this,
Herbert and the Chargers.
This team's issue is a lot bigger than just Tua being hurt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Now, every team's got injuries in the NFL, but I make a point in saying I think if any team loses their starting quarterback, set aside from a few, I think they take a step back.
Absolutely.
And that's happened in Miami. Now, there's been other injuries in Miami, just like Jacksonville has injuries as well, but I think the Tua injury was a big one.
I guess my whole point in this is I just don't feel like – I feel like Miami is gettable, number one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's no blowout potential for the Miami Dolphins to blow anybody out, even the Jags. And I think it's going to be a good football game.
I think Mike
partly
Gesicki's getting 3 touchdowns.
and I'm not ready to say the Jags are going to win yet.
I think Myles Gaskins going to get 5
We do our
touchdowns
picks
and sign a
tomorrow.
new contract. What?
I hope so.
Oh, you got Myles Gaskins going?
Yeah, I love Myles Gaskins. Not in our league, but in different leagues.
Casey, careful now. I mean, Tennessee.
Is Adam Shaheen playing?
No,
I heard he got an ankle injury.
No. Sorry. I know you're trying to make Ashland a thing. Don't worry about it. Ain't going to be a thing anytime soon.
No.
Just watch New York and watch Murray State how we do things with the New York Jets, baby.
By the way,
Quincy
you know
Williams.
the craziest thing the other day? So in 24 hours, 3 Ashland University mentions. One on Twitter. Somebody said his daughter had gotten accepted to Ashland.
Okay. So they reached out to you?
Yeah, so they just said, hey, guess what we got from Ashland today, or an offer or something. I think she's smart.
Cool.
And so from Poli-Science, she must have got a scholarship.
She's smart. Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay.
I said, is it like athletics or the way he put it was an offer. And so, so then the next, Ty's baseball coach was texting me and said, hey, did you play with so-and-so at Ashland? This is at like 2:00.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
And then Steph at the same time is like, hey, call me if you got 2 seconds. So I call Steph before I respond to the coach.
Good man.
And yeah, great. I don't need to do that, by the way. But
wow.
But anyway, the Steph's like, hey, so-and-so, a kid we know down here, he's going up to visit Ashland.
Nice.
They're bringing him up there.
Sure.
Baseball player.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I figured that's what Ty's coach is calling about.
Yeah.
So I call him, and no, it's not. It was just random that he was texting me about some guy if I played with him at Ashland.
Dang.
That's a weird thing.
It's a lot of Ashland.
So now you throw Adam Shaheen in here, and here we go.
I mean, I guess when you go to Ashland, that's what happens. You get people in your DMs. And I can turn on an NBA and watch John Morant, and that's Murray State. I can watch I can watch a London football game with New York Jets, and I can watch Murray State. You know what I'm saying? Now
you used to be able to just go down the street.
You could go down the street and check it out.
Williams.
No, for sure. No, am I a little bitter because Quincy Williams is putting up big numbers, and I'm going to fade away in terms of the Murray State lure?
You keep playing Ariana Grande, you'll be fine.
Well, now I got to start donating to the university, which I've never done before. But now I got to start donating. Hey, don't forget about me.
Yeah.
Here's a nice check, courtey of ESPN 690.
That
Put my
couldn't
statue
happen
up.
on ESPN 690. Thankfully, now you got the morning gig, so now you can write a check.
I can write a check. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, quarterbacks. So anyway, this Miami game will be very interesting in that regard. I want to talk quarterbacks. Is Steven still on the line? Maybe we'll sneak him in. Let's get Steven in. He probably wants to talk Urban Meyer. Oh boy.
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Which tunnel are you calling from?
Man, I'm on the highway driving home from work, okay?
Brent's on one today, Steve. You just got to deal with him today. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I feel, what's the movie? I feel like this is like Teen Wolf. And he's like outside on the top of the car.
What in the world?
Where he's holding the speaker?
I'm driving
yeah.
work
Say
truck down
anything.
95, so.
You talking about that movie? Where John Cusack's outside with a speaker?
No.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Steven.
Different edition to Teen Wolf.
I guess.
I think it was called Teen Wolf.
Anyways, my question for you guys is when you were talking Urban Meyer, I think the main thing a lot of people are upset about is, or at least me and my buddies are, we hired Urban Meyer, but we're not getting the same Urban Meyer from that won titles at Florida and Ohio State. We're getting an Urban Meyer that changed up his style of being hands-off, less detail-orientated that, made him so good in the college right now. And, I mean, I think that's really what people get upset about.
I appreciate it, Steven. Thanks, man. Drive safe. Thanks for calling Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. That was like the Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf.
Okay.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I saw it like once. I'll be honest with you.
It's a great movie.
No, it's fantastic.
But he's
when
like
playing
outside
basketball,
the car, like surfing on the hood.
Okay.
I mean, on the roof.
I do remember that now. I do remember
it's a
that.
Great movie.
Everyone was kind of
great, but it was a memorable movie.
Everyone was kind of accepting of him, though, huh? Like when he was playing basketball, no one was like questioning. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it did at first.
Different at first, but then like, it's cool.
Yeah, when he's scoring 60 a game,
Yeah, that's what it is.
But that's a good point on Urban, and now we're starting to wonder that, right? Here's the thing: there's a lot of haters of Urban Meyer when this thing even started that said he wasn't going to be able to do it because of the college to the NFL transition. I think Steven brings up a good point. Is this the Urban Meyer from Ohio State? Is this the Urban Meyer from Florida? Well, in terms of the transgression part, we, again, 2 weeks ago, we said, well, he's learned a lot probably, and, blah, 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 blah. And then he even said, I'm not going to run around like a maniac. I'm going to delegate. I'm going to hire my coach. I'm going to let them do their thing. And some people say he always did that anyway. He wasn't like in the weeds on some of it. And by the way, some people will still say, from what I understand, he's more of a maniac than he looks maybe in front of the podium, okay?
Yeah.
So in the hallways and other spots. But I get what Steven's saying. And I think it is a fair curiosity. If you change what you are that made you great, can you still be great? Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. That is a hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Clemens, back in the day, they thought he was in the twilight of his career because he was losing a little something off his fastball. He was losing something off his fastball. He went to Toronto and then New York and reestablished himself as a guy who could pitch and not just throw and blow it by you. So he reinvented himself a little bit and adjusted and still was good. Urban Meyer tries to reinvent himself a little bit from I'm 58 years old now. I'm not going to talk to these guys like I yelled at people at Ohio State from a player standpoint.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to let them do their thing, and I'm going to try to cultivate that or whatever he was thinking coming in. But when you do that, do you lose some of the focus, some of the organization, some of the stuff that maybe meant that made you great? And that's a fair curiosity. I think it's a good question. I think it's very hard for us to know because we weren't around Urban at Ohio State when he won a national title to see the exact way he did things versus now the exact way he does things in an NFL building. I guess the best example of that would be to hear from a guy like Charlie Strong, who had seen him at Florida versus now would he be like, nah, it's a little different now. It's a little different. It's a different Urban. Yeah. And maybe it's not as good of an Urban or it's less of an effective Urban because of the way he is. Might be the case.
I keep hearing that Urban has changed his philosophies. He's changed his ways. Like I've seen this all over Twitter.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think if you watched an Ohio State game or a Florida game, you would see him chewing out players on the sidelines. Like that was just a thing, right? So one could assume like in practice, he's probably getting after it as well. I think being out of the game a couple years and then obviously going to the NFL, it is different. Like I'm sitting here saying, I'm not sure if you could get away with what you did in college. I think Pete Carroll probably changed his game up a little bit from college. I think all these college coaches, you have to.
They knew that,
because I think you're naive if you think that you can just come in, do what you did in college, and expect grown men not to retaliate and fight back at you. Like, it just doesn't happen. I mean, I talk about this all the time. Andy Reid was the best coach I ever played for. Andy Reid was also the easiest coach to go through practice with, was the easiest coach to watch film with because he never chewed you out. It wasn't like he was doing these crazy conditioning circuits, but he had a beautiful mind in terms of how he calls an offense. Now, like, that's his identity, right? Like, the reason why Andy Reid is so good is because, well, the Chiefs' offense is good, right? Patrick Mahomes is good. True. Tyreek Hill is good. So, like, that helps Andy Reid. But, like, even the environment that he created where it was fun-loving, like, you didn't dread coming to work every single day. That was Andy Reid. And every coach is different. And every coach that I played for was different. Some coaches are a little more of a hard ass, which is like, all right, here we go again. Some coaches are like, all right, I can't wait to get back out there. It takes all types. But what it comes down to more than anything, and I've echoed this many times, is being genuine. If you're genuine, players will follow you. If you're not being genuine or you switch the script all of a sudden, then players will retaliate. I've seen it time and time again with position coaches, coordinators, and head coaches alike. And I think with Urban Meyer right now, who he is this season is who he is. To expect him to go, Urban, you got to go back to your college ways now. You try to switch that up after all he's been through, after all this team has been through, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that and tell me how that goes.
Yeah, I agree. He's not going to do that. Here's where I do think there's a constant, and I might be wrong. But again, I don't know if we can know this answer. I had somebody that had been around him over the last 6 months kind of have some red flags like, I don't know if this is going to work. All right? Mm-hmm. And that was early on, like, I don't know. That's transition. He did some of these things there. Can't do it here. That's not being received the same way. So there was now you could ask a million people in the building and they'd probably all have different stories and thoughts on that, especially now. You know, it's really hard to do is find out what everybody think 2 weeks ago versus now on Urban as well. So that's, you got to kind of get through a little bit of that mud. But I do think my view on it is the one thing that he did even at Ohio State, did at Florida and everything else is nurture that locker room. Mm-hmm. And say, this is all about you. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do everything I can for you. And I'm also going to demand a lot out of you. Right?
Yeah.
I sense that he's done that here, too. And I think that's why they didn't come out and what I would call lay an egg on Sunday against Tennessee. And I think that's why they're still probably playing. Like, I want to give the leadership credit, too, of the locker room. Like, hey, we're still playing because we're professionals and all that. But you can tell the difference when a team is kind of like, screw this guy. You know,
yeah.
I still think that nurturing of that locker room, the having all the stuff down there, how he continues to get in front of a microphone, even on our last soundbite, and talk about the locker room and how good they are, and he continues to say this is the best locker room. That hasn't changed in the last 2 weeks compared to the previous 2 weeks. Is my point. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one thing of consistency. Now, what I don't know, Austin, is is he as hands-on in that offensive meeting? Is he as hands-on with that QB, with that position group that he would have been before? Is this his offense? Is it Bevel's offense? Is he kind of lost in between, picking up through that on a game day on a sideline, that play comes in, he's like, whoa, don't run that play.
Yeah.
Right? Because there have been several times already we're like, hey, don't run that play. Everybody in the stadium doesn't want you to run that play. Put 25 in.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. I think a lost art of being an NFL coach and an attribute that never gets talked about enough because we always get lost in the X's and O's and the schemes and all this stuff. But a lost attribute is just the ability to read a room and read your guys.
Yeah.
And if we want to look back on the history of Urban Meyer so far, there's been a couple of red flags where it's been like, ooh, did you really read the room there?
That's critical.
Chris Doyle would be a primary example.
True.
You bring Chris Doyle in. I'm not sure if you consulted in your players or not. You didn't consult with all of them because it was the offseason. And obviously Chris Doyle was gone a couple days later. One would think that if you did bring Chris Doyle in, that could create some sort of tension and rift in an NFL locker room.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Well, that's the last thing you want to do if you're a first-year head coach, is start up on the wrong foot. So, like, once again, I echo this again, like with Andy Reid. Andy Reid never said anything as far, I wasn't there a long time, but like in terms of pregame speeches, never said anything that was inspiring. Never once did I go, wow, I'm ready to run through a wall for Andy Reid.
Yeah, unless you like ice cream and burgers.
Hey, no, for sure. But you know what? He didn't have to because we're all grown men here.
Yeah,
Like at that point in my career, coming from the Jaguars, being my fourth season, I knew that, either I make the team or I don't. But like I'm fighting for my job here, so I got to take this seriously. Like guys, eventually they know that. Like you don't need to give them the rah speeches. You don't need to rally everybody and be like, all right, let's do. No, man, you don't need to do that. What you need to do is make sure that you can read the room and read where your team is at. If they're banged up, if they're sore, then you take it easy on them. If they need pushing, then you do that. But you have to have almost like this sixth sense with your players. And Andy Reid had that more than anybody. Guess what? Yeah, I love fried food. Fried Food Fridays. Let's go, Andy. You ever heard of that before besides the Kansas City Chiefs and Fried Food Fridays?
No.
But you know why he did it? Because we wanted it.
Yeah. He read the room.
He read the room. How much has Urban Meyer read the room? I mean, not flying back with your team.
Yeah.
The Chris Doyle situation. Not knowing how many reps James Robinson gets in the second half and then talking about it.
Yeah.
That's not
fair.
reading the room.
That's fair. And I will say this, because this is what it looks like at the news conferences and everything else, is he's been humbled.
Yes.
There's a sense of humility now after these last 2 weeks because of the flying stuff, because of the video, because of the statement by the owner, and because of some of these things. Well, what you lose, that bravado and ego and kind of I'm the guy that spreads through your locker room off your head coach right now doesn't exist in Jacksonville. Right?
Yeah.
That did exist at Florida. That did exist at Ohio State. That has existed ever since he put on a headset and started coaching. And over the last, I don't know if he can get that back or not. Mm-hmm. But right now, the last couple weeks, it doesn't feel like that exists. Mm-hmm. That almost self-confidence in a way, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, because of the situation that he's had to face over these last couple of weeks and that he kind of earned. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Warm today under partly to mostly sunny skies. Highs in the mid-80s. It'll be mostly clear tonight into the mid-60s and a very warm Friday. Partly sunny skies tomorrow with highs in the upper 80s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss Beard's BOGO Wedding Band Sale happening now through October 24th.
Know what time it is? It's time to get moving. Cora Physical Therapy has opened a new state-of-the-art clinic in Kingsland on Boone and Haddock and will be opening another one soon in Brunswick. With Cora, you have access to licensed, passionate clinicians, only the most innovative equipment, and life-changing therapies. Cora is all about treating everyone right now. It's your move. Visit CoraPhysicalTherapy.com for a free screening. No physician's referral required. Same-day appointments available.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Prices are falling at Beard's Diamonds.
Going on now. Buy one, get one is back at Beard's Diamonds.
No other jewelry store in North Florida can match it. Buy any band and get the other band free.
Yes, it's a buy one, get one free on wedding bands.
Going on now through the 24th.
And only at Beard's Diamonds.
Beard's has brought in cases of inventory with the latest styles from the hottest designers just for the sale.
It's the largest selection of men's and women's wedding bands in North Florida.
You can save thousands. Buy any wedding band and get the other band free.
Going on now through the 24th and only at Beard's Diamonds.
If you're getting married soon or want to upgrade your wedding bands, now is the time during Beard's Buy One, Get One sale. Going on now through the 24th.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Quitting tobacco isn't easy. The good news is, Tobacco-Free Florida is here to help you quit your way by offering the free support and tools you'll need to succeed. Our AHEC cessation program offers Group Quit, virtual classes you can take from the comfort of your own home across every county in Florida. All you need is a phone, tablet, or computer. You may also be eligible to receive up to $400 worth of free quit aids, such as nicotine patches, lozenges, or gum. You aren't alone, and our group quit sessions can offer the support you've needed all along. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried to quit, now is your time to succeed, because now is the time to quit your way. So give us a call at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to double your chances of success. Ask about free nicotine replacement options to help you quit today. This is your start to a tobacco-free life. No judgments, just help.
He's kept you ahead of storms.
This is going to be a very active afternoon of storms.
He's taken you inside storms.
Look at the Reds then that have shifted a little south of Jacksonville.
And for 33 years, the Chief has seen it all. Forecasting severe weather days in advance. So when storms are headed your way, there is only one meteorologist to turn to tonight, the Chief. The knowledge and experience of Jacksonville's Chief Meteorologist, Mike Burrish. Action News Jack's First Alert Weather, only on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Today's pros need today's tools, and nobody understands that better than the Home Depot. Our app makes it simpler to get supplies ordered and delivered. Our online project calculators cut guesswork and last-second supply runs. Job site delivery puts what you need where and when you need it. And rental puts the right equipment in your hands, but not your overhead. That's how today's pros get more done. New tech, new tools, old-fashioned hard work. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
O'Reilly. It's Super Start Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That means you can get up to a $25 gift card after mail-in rebate with the purchase of your Super Start battery. Return power, performance, and reliability to your car, truck, motorcycle, and more with Super Start batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jax. After you listen to us from 3 to 6 today, you can hear Thursday Night Football as Tom Brady and the Bucks travel to Philly to take on Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Coverage starts at 8 right here on ESPN 690.
Yeah, but the one thing I found out, the players actually, the ones I've talked to, enjoy it. They like going over there. We had a long discussion about it. I mean, there's a long discussion about why we do it, and then just the international appeal of the NFL.
That is Urban Meyer. Oh, what is going to happen with Urban Meyer? Crazy. It's a crazy deal. I get like a text a week now. It's like, what about next Monday? By the way, this is usually like internal. Okay, this isn't like a source or something. This is like internal. Hey, should we be ready on Monday? I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
A win?
Yeah. Amen. A victory Monday? Get out the headbands.
Is there a parade? By the way, have we thought about that? Like, I've thought about, like, on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I thought about this last week when I was on the show doing the Action Sports Jax primetime on Sunday night. Mm-hmm. I was like, we're getting to the point now. We're second all time behind the Tampa Bay Bucks. Like, should we do some, like, crazy thing if they break the streak? I mean, we've had Minshew Mondays. Like, where are we doing the show from on Monday if they win?
Oh, wait. So, I'm sorry. I got this misconstrued. I thought you were talking about if they break the record as in terms of we're celebrating that.
And I can't get to the record because that brings Ramsey into the fold and all that stuff. That's that week.
Okay.
Did you miss that yesterday? Were you here for that when I was talking about that?
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you were here.
It was on the show.
All right. I didn't know if you went to warm up your food.
I'm part of the show.
I know.
Yeah,
I thought maybe. I felt alone at the moment in my mind, but that was because I was, I think, on location.
You were on location. That is correct.
No, but yeah, to put it in case you missed it. So, in order for the Jaguars to break the record, which is held by the Buccaneers,
yes,
they will have to play the Rams.
Number 27 would be against the Rams.
Yes, and Jalen Ramsey.
Now that we are not throwing a parade.
Okay.
Anything.
Well, and that's what I thought we're getting at here is if they keep on losing, we're going to celebrate it.
I mean, listen, we haven't had a chance to celebrate anything Jags related other than Trevor Lawrence
in a long time. I saw something in a bar celebrating.
I did. Yeah, I mean, we sang a song and everything.
Yes, you did.
So let's bring Stuart Weber in the fold. Maybe he's like getting on a plane. He's in Atlanta. He's already made one leg of this trip. He's got an 8-hour flight ahead. Still no direct flights to London, huh?
No, just the one that leaves later tonight with us not on it.
Couldn't get on the Kismet?
Could not. Well, I think the Kismet would have taken a little longer to get over there.
Yeah, but it's gonna be luxury. It's gonna be a nice luxury ride.
That would be a great ride.
Oof, we don't.
I mean, that's great for Jay-Z and Beyonce, but I can't afford those kind of rates.
All right,
that'd be awesome. It would be so great to like hit crypto so big that you could just afford a week on the Kismet.
A week? I mean, or just one yourself.
Well, yeah,
depending how big you hit.
That's a big difference. I mean,
I know.
What is it? What is it a week? Like $1 million?
I'm sorry?
It's $1 million for the week on
Probably,
the Kismet?
Yeah.
Because I thought that's what Beyonce and Jay-Z paid.
Yeah, it's quite the down payment if you want to get one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe you should just go spend like $120 million more and buy one.
I'll check it out because my credit score is off the charts right now with my new credit cards and stuff. So
how many credit cards do you have?
2 of them. Responsible, baby.
Very
responsible.
Good. You paid them
Whoa,
off.
Yeah. 2. Look out.
Weber doesn't have the corporate card with him this time around. I'm not there. What's up, Weber?
We're just it's funny. I was saying to Ryan Kendall, my compatriot for this trip, our videographer, I don't think you could have any bigger and shorter flight on the same flight as this one. Where it was a 40-minute flight from Jacksonville to Atlanta, and now 8 hours from Atlanta to London.
That is true. Hey, should we plan something on Sunday night's Action Sports Jax primetime if there's a victory, or here on Monday? I just feel like we have to do something than come in on a regular Monday. I mean, 20 losses in a row. If you do break the streak, whenever that is, I feel like we need to celebrate in a big, big way.
I completely agree. I intend to celebrate on Sunday night when they break the streak. That's part of the plan.
All right. Well, I'll need some ideas before then. I don't care how you celebrate in London with the royal family. but how we celebrate.
We're going over to Buckingham Palace. They're gonna pop some bubbly, some of the good stuff for us.
Listen, I like the London trip. You do. You like to travel anywhere. So Stuart loves to travel anywhere. I'm a fan of the London trip. A lot of people can't stand it. A lot of people can't stand it. I like it. Now, I haven't made it in a few years. Ryan Kendall, who you were with, he is making it for the first time. Has he already said, hey, we got to go to Buckingham Palace. We got to see Big Ben. I mean, you got to see some of the sights, right?
Have some fish and chips.
Yeah, so he has never been to London. So on Saturday, the plan is to kind of hit some spots, take him around the city a little bit, and do some stand-ups, of course, while we're out there for the TV side. You know, we always got to take care of the television side. You know, the reason we're actually there, a little bit of the work. And then we're going to see if we can maybe swing a little trip by Old Craven Cottage while we're at it.
Oh, yeah, we're Fulham place.
That is correct.
I think you're going to be the only local reporter in London. Is that true?
Also. Yep.
Nice.
Yep, just me and Ryan representing the Jacksonville media here on this trip. So if you want any coverage from London that's actually in London, give us a follow. At Stuart A.S. Jacks is the Twitter.
Yeah, and you got Action Sports Jacks covered on radio and TV all weekend long. And you've done so many things over there now. There's nothing new to do, I would think, in London. But if you haven't been, London's a really cool city. When I first went over there, I was like, I don't really care if I go to London. Like I'm one of these guys that I want to go. Like Weber travels all over the place, but I'm one of these guys that I want to go to more places in the United States before I start exploring all across the world. Right? And I went to London, and London was like fantastic city. It's a good city. You ever been, Austin? You want to go?
Never been.
Maybe you should fight over there in London.
I'm not gonna lie. I wish Action Sports Jacks would have sent me over there for like a little correspondence trip, but nope.
They have MMA in London?
Yes, of course.
Give me a famous.
Michael Bisping is probably the most famous MMA fighter. Tyson Fury, obviously, is from
boxing.
Yeah, boxing.
Anytime I think of Bisping, I just think of that Hendo fight where he just leveled him. Oh,
yes.
What a time.
Oh, man. Brent, you should have saw it.
Hey, Weber, part of your find Austin a fight in London if you can.
All right.
Like on the streets, or what are we doing?
Promoter.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'll go bar to bar and say, hey, who wants to fight my 6'4" friend who likes to punch people for a living?
6'6".
Sorry,
Stuart, can you give me 2 more inches?
Listen, Weber's like
4?
Weber's like 5'5", so he tries to diminish your
whoa,
height.
hey,
First, your
whoa,
team
whoa,
beats
whoa, whoa.
First, the Braves beat the Brewers in devastating fashion, and congratulations to that. And now you're going to shortchange me 2 inches on live radio?
Should I have dropped him?
I would have.
Nah, I mean he's on a collect call.
Someone's getting dropped from Facebook as we speak. Unfriended.
Yeah. God forbid 6'4" to 6'8" is a huge difference. I'm sorry, 5'8" to 5'5", that is a difference, okay? Brent Martineau?
That is a big difference. Is Atlanta Airport buzzing with Braves fever?
Yeah, no, they're doing the chop right now as we speak. They are stoked and excited. They cannot wait for either the Dodgers or the Giants. Please let it be the Giants who come calling next.
I'm going to be honest, I had to turn that game off. I had to turn the audio down and put on Bob Uecker because that chop is just so annoying.
Yeah.
And that's fair. Obviously in college football, I'm not a fan of it, but I can certainly understand as a visiting fan how you wouldn't enjoy it.
I kind of like it. Hey, Weber, this is one of those, we don't travel with the team this year. On any of the trips. We usually would. Last year, obviously, we didn't either, but the COVID world has changed that. And this is one of the years, would have been unbelievable to travel with the team. Would have been able to identify Urban Meyer wasn't on one flight, right? I mean, this year, when you go, hey, which kicker is on the flight?
That's a good one. I will say this flight will somewhat feel like a quasi-team flight. I believe the roar of the Jaguars is going to be on this flight, as will a few of our compatriots within the Jaguars video department, like one Dave DeCandis.
Yeah, that kind of will feel like the back of the plane then going over to London.
That's right.
Yeah, well, anyway, if you guys can find a kicker while you're over there.
They got a ton of them over there.
Yeah, that might help. Roy Kent, somebody like that.
He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Roy Kent.
Yeah. See, Austin doesn't even get that because he hasn't watched Ted Lasso.
No, sorry. How many Ted Lasso references are you going to make during the week here, Stuart?
Probably a lot.
Wholesome show, I've heard.
I plan to sneak quite a few in. I remember the first year we did a trip over in London. I did as many Doctor Who references as I could. So this year, I think Ted Lasso is the way to go.
All right.
Gotcha.
Last thing, Weber, Another knock on London is the food.
Correct.
Like, everybody says it's so like bland, right? I've had good food when I've been over in London. Are we just finding the right spots? I mean, everybody knows about fish and chips, but beyond that, I mean,
chips.
There's some good food over in London. I
vinegar
disagree
on
with
there.
people.
Come on.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people will find something like fish and chips to be a little bland, but I mean, I had some of the best Indian food in my life while in London. Now I haven't been to India, so that's probably a spot where I could get some better Indian food.
Yeah, maybe an upgrade there.
It might be a little bit of an upgrade there, but I will say, if you're looking in the right places, you can find food from all over the world, not just stereotypical British food, and you can really find some good stuff out there. And that's the plan here the next few days.
All right. Well, safe travels. Let's go one more thing here. What do you have on? What have you downloaded to watch over the next 8 hours? You already have seen Ted Lasso. Is it Squid Game? What do you got?
It's actually not Squid Game, and it actually is Ted Lasso, funny enough. I was a few episodes behind, so I got the last 4 from season 2 ready to rock. And then the nice thing with all these flights, by the way, nowadays is they all have a full complement of entertainment centers ready to go. I will say, as soon as 5 minutes after pulling out of my house, I realized I'd left the book I was going to bring. So it's going to have to be movies the rest of the way and some music as well.
People still have books?
You're reading books?
I was reading a book. I've been doing. That's been one of my things I've been trying to do more on trips lately. Is take a book along and be a little more scholarly. Okay.
Wait, when you say is this the Brett Martineau book where it's an audio tape, or did you forget the audio tape, or is it actually a real book?
No, an actual book with pages, and you flip on through them. And
why didn't you just download the book? I mean, you don't have to have the audio one. You just download.
Because he has to show people that he's reading a book.
It's a flex.
I like the.
It is a flex.
I like the feel of the paper. It's nice between your fingers.
The flipping of the page.
Stuart, what book was it?
It was a Tom Clancy book. So I'm about 5 of them into the Jack Ryan series.
All right.
Yeah. Hey,
whatever.
I have nothing else for him.
Go watch Squid Game.
Of course, yeah.
Sorry, I'm a 45-year-old man now.
Sound like it.
New Balances because I'm out here reading Tom Clancy books in an airplane.
This 45-year-old man ain't reading any books. He's listening to
Tom
them.
Clancy novels, huh?
Hey, have a good trip.
I've gotten into them lately.
Good work. We'll see you
I
on
hear you.
TV. And safe travels, man. Get good sleep.
All right, we'll be in touch tomorrow as the Jaguars hit the practice field for the first time. We'll be there.
All right, sounds good. That is Stuart Weber. He is going across the pond. He loves to travel, man. And he will be there for the Jags' first win of 2021.
Brent, last book that you read? Book that you read, not on tape. Put your cell phone
not
down.
on tape?
Yeah, book that you've read.
I was going to say, because I listened to Urban Meyer's on the way up.
That's
up
right.
To,
but you didn't read it, though.
Ashtabula.
Yeah, maybe we'd play that one again.
Listen to a Tiger book. Hold on, let's see what I have on.
I can't. Hey,
Great,
Casey,
let's hold on.
I mean, I thought it was an easy question.
Let's hold on.
What's the last book that you read?
I've listened to.
Casey, I'm sorry.
One.
Did I say what books did you listen to, or what book did you read? Casey, just take us out of here.
The Matheny Manifesto. Read that one.
Is that it?
You ever read that one?
Is that
No.
That was about Matheny, ironically, Cardinals manager.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
When he went to coach his kids' travel ball
Okay.
stuff. It's good.
I'm just saying you start using the word manifesto. I don't know if you're getting to communism. Okay, we're good. Let's go to break.
Easy.
Well, hey, manifesto's
Another
pretty
one I've
aggressive.
read parts of. I'm 83% through the sports gene.
Flexing
The
so
sports
hard.
gene.
We are 6 minutes and 8 seconds late.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He finds the promised land. Touchdown, FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
Outside the numbers to the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. It's a touchdown, Florida State. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line. Noles win. Noles win.
Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long, right here on your home for Florida State football.
Sponsored by Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. It's a new approach to healthcare. The Center for Health and Sports Medicine is built on the pillars of health: physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional, with primary care sports medicine physicians, mental health counselors, an advanced diagnostics lab for wellness and sports medicine, and 24/7 on-site state-of-the-art fitness facility, all under one roof. What does this mean for you? As a Center for Health and Sports Medicine patient, you'll receive medical care in a collaborative, proactive, goal-oriented manner. In other words, everything they do is centered around you. Learn more at jacksfamilysportsmed.com. I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts. Jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wings Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wings Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks.
Is your home not feeling very new anymore? Sick of that pink bathroom tile, popcorn ceilings, a stove older than you are? Whether it's repairs or reno, finance it smart with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, where you can borrow up to 90% of your home's appraised value. You've got good taste, but your block counters ain't cheap. So get to work and open a Honeydew HELOC with 1-to-1 Financial. When you do, we'll send you a free handyman tool set to get started. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjacks.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, sports fans, are you ready to get in on a piece of the action? The only thing better than your football team winning is when you have some skin in the game. This is Ultimate Vegas insider John Anthony, and if you're looking to cash in on tonight's big game, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, I've got you covered. Documented 77% against the spread. Call 1-800-244-5506 for my absolutely free side and total on the recorded message line. That's 1-800-244-5506. What are you waiting for? Get off the sideline. Call 1-800-244-5506 now. Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, side and total. Free on the recorded message line. Every touchdown and victory dance just got that much sweeter. But before you get in on the action, call 1-800-244-5506 or go to VegasScoresAndOdds.com. Sponsored by JFSR Group.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
See, boss, look at all these great masks, and they got them marked down for their after Halloween sale. These make great disguises for breaking into houses.
Oh, yeah. It's perfectly normal for a big guy in a Spider-Man mask to be lurking around the neighborhood.
I wouldn't be lurking.
Whatever. Just make sure you don't go near any safe touch houses. Those things aren't safe for us crooks.
Hey, before I forget, that house we've been casing, when are those folks going out of town again?
Black Friday. And since they don't have safe touch security, we don't have to worry.
Yeah, no safe touch means no two-way communicator or crash and smash technology, no video monitoring,
and no headaches for me.
Here, look. What do you think of my new mask?
It's definitely an improvement.
Thanks.
You find another house without safe touch and the mask is on me.
Consider it done.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
It's a Thursday night here in Jacksonville, Florida. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Blitz Scoreboard Show coming up tomorrow night. Guess what? We're going to take that live to Bartram Trail High School for our game of the week for the Friday Night Blitz. It's Bartram and Creekside. So we're going to try this. Casey's nervous. I would be too. But we're going to take the Blitz Scoreboard Show live from 9 p.m. until 10:30. We will have live highlights, of course, of that game. That's what we do on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. If you don't know what it is yet, come on, check it out. 9 until 10:30. We have highlights, reaction, analysis, scores for about an hour and a half on a Friday night. And we will show you the finishes of live games. And that Creekside Bartram Trail could be a good one. The other thing we do is Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Baker Sports. We appreciate Baker Sports for their support of our high school coverage, including the Blitz Scoreboard Show on ESPN 690. And last week's Committed to the Uncommitted was Caleb Francis, defensive back wide receiver, Jackson High School, 3.2 GPA guy, plays both ways, leads the team, touchdown catches, interceptions. And Kevin Sullivan, our coach that jumps in on the show, talked all about this young man, Caleb Francis, committed to the uncommitted. What we try to do is highlight players in the area that are overlooked, under-recruited, maybe lost in the COVID wave of recruiting. And Caleb Francis, one of those guys, definitely good enough to play at that next level. Hopefully this gets some eyeballs on him. Committed to the uncommitted. Brought to you by Baker Sports each and every week. Join us for a new edition of that tomorrow night. Blitz Scoreboard Show, 9 p.m. until 10:30. And keep playing well, Caleb Francis, with the Jackson Tigers. By the way, Jackson against Episcopal tonight in high school football is a Thursday night game. We will be there. And that should be a fantastic matchup. Episcopal off to a nice start. Urshad Jacey was our player of the week last week, and he will be one of the studs for the Eagles. So a big district championships tomorrow night, basically on the line. Playoff spots already on the line. It's going to be week 8 of the high school football season.
That's crazy.
Tomorrow, I know it's weird, isn't it?
Dang.
Goes by quick. And there's only 10 of them before everything starts flying in the playoffs. So it's really toward the finish line. Make sure you tune in to the Blitz Scoreboard Show, presented by Baker Sports and also University of North Florida Ospreys as well. That's tomorrow night, 9 o'clock on your social media channels. Now, you can listen on the radio, but don't forget the social media channels because you can watch the live action as we break it down on a Friday night on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. And we'll be back. Football at 5 coming up. I want to talk quarterbacks. I got a thought on quarterbacks in general in the NFL. I want your thoughts on it, Austin Lane, plus an FSU report, plus we picked tonight's game in the NFL, and I believe I'm undefeated. Football at 5 on the way on ESPN 690.
Nya, nya, nya. Ba, ba, Babue, Zimbabwe. The broken Bunsen burner burns so bright. Southeast Asian Peninsula.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes?
I think the only line we need from you today is drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Cool. I just got to finish my warm-ups. Foul, throw in the towel. History.
Switch to Progressive today.
Santa ski slalom in a salmon skin suit.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
My name is Sanjay Patani, and I'm an emergency medicine physician. It's the after effects of getting COVID that the young population should be concerned about. There's chronic fatigue syndrome, blood clotting disorders, heart problems. There are long chronic lung problems. The essence of this vaccine is not to prevent you from getting coronavirus. It is from preventing you from getting seriously ill and potentially dying.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Hospital Association, the Florida Medical Association, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau. Check out Action Sports Jax weekdays from 3 until 6 on ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The St. Louis Cardinals set a team record, winning 17 straight this year, making the playoffs for the third year in a row under manager Mike Schilt, who's now out of a job. Fired today by Cardinals president John Mozeliak, who points to philosophical differences. ESPN, meanwhile, has learned 77-year-old Tony La Russa will be back to manage the White Sox again next season. Game 5 for the Giants and Dodgers tonight in San Francisco to settle the last of the division series, and we've got the game on ESPN Radio starting at 8:30 Eastern. The Raiders play the Broncos in Denver Sunday, and they've moved on from coach John Gruden, but ESPN's Bomani Jones says this story isn't over.
I don't think this corner is getting turned for quite a while. I would not be surprised if we see more things come out of this, because apparently with the LA Times having their hands on emails from a different lawsuit and now the push from the former cheerleaders who are suing, this could very easily be the beginning of a scandal.
Bomani Jones on KJ and Max.
Want to know what's really scary? Seeing just how much you could have been saving by switching to Geico. They make it easy to bundle your home, car, boat, cycle, or RV insurance and save even more. No fortune tellers needed. Visit geico.com to see if saving money is in your future. Happy Geicoing.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Don't get me wrong, I love the man, right?
and I hate, you hate the sin, like for me, you hate for anybody. No one's perfect, If we just started opening up everybody's private emails and texts, people would start sweating a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully not too many, but maybe that's what they should do for all coaches and GMs and owners from now on is open up. You got to open up everything, see what happens.
Well, that is Derek Carr and his thoughts on the situation with John Gruden. I think it's a really tough spot for the players and everybody to be in this week with Gruden. I mean, sure, some of them should have angst. Carl Nassib, the only openly gay player in the NFL, took a personal day. They gave him a personal day to kind of wrap his head around everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's tough. And, Austin, you tell me if not, but I think we got to try to get on this level. Okay, we all agree. It's unbelievable. What are we doing here, John Gruden? We didn't know that's who you were, who you would say those things. And we said it Tuesday. It's like this isn't like a one. I think it's different sometimes when people, not all the time. I think it's different sometimes when people say something once. And like, where did that come from? Or maybe that's not who they are. And now this day and age, you say something once, guess what? You're labeled anyway. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
But I don't know if that's fully who, in every situation, that's who people are. Well, you have this flood of emails that were released, and somebody was out to get John Gruden by releasing them, obviously. But it's what he said, and it's like, wow, it's hard to kind of, how do you defend that, right? You can be closest, you can be Jay Gruden, John's brother, and it's going to be a hard thing to defend, right? Yeah. And you've known him all your life and who he is, and you love him and all that stuff. But in this situation, I think what Derek Carr said, he said it in a good way. You can, what do you say? Like, you can still love the person, hate the sin. Is that what he said?
I think that's what it was.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting separation point, I would think, from a player to a coach. You'd build this relationship, especially Derek Carr. And do you just throw that relationship aside? And this doesn't have to be player-coach. This could be anybody you know. I mean, if you think about your best friend, right? Think about it. Right now, you're in your car. Think about your best friend in the world, and they do something, and it's like, man, I did not know that was in them, or I didn't see that coming, or I can't believe they did that. I couldn't disagree more. Do you still support or cast aside, even as a close friend? Well, my guess is John Gruden's going to lose a lot of people he knows and had in his corner over the years off this. Not everybody, but he's going to lose a lot.
No, you're going to lose a lot. I mean, let's be honest here. It seems like in the past couple of years or so, friendships have been put through the ringer just on politics alone.
That's a good point, yeah.
And that's just politics. And then when you start, literally just going after people and offending people really of race and sexual orientation and all of that, it's going to rub people the wrong way. And I respect what Carr said, I mean, he loves the human, just he hates the sin. And I fall in line with that, where I'm not saying that, hey, you have to hate with every fiber of your being John Gruden now. To me, that's energy wasted as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, a little counterproductive maybe too.
Very counterproductive, yeah. But at the same time, I'm glad this was brought to the light and they got a guy like that out of there, And I just talked about this with Andy Reid in terms of, being who you are and not putting on a facade. And obviously the John Gruden that was in the locker room that probably spoke to his players was, maybe a different guy behind the scenes. And as a player, that hurts you more than anything. Like I can't imagine what those players are feeling right now in that locker room.
That's tough,
right? Because you felt like you just got conned a little bit. That you sacrificed your blood and sweat for the greater good of the Las Vegas Raiders, and all of a sudden you see the guy that was put in charge of that, the guy that was supposed to lead you to a championship. This guy turned out to be something that you didn't know, something that you didn't foresee happening. So. That's a really tough pill to swallow. I don't know what happens to John Gruden from here. I mean, I could say, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and get, let's educate John Gruden and all this stuff. But like, I'm all for educating people. I'm all for trying to find the best in people. But when you're a leader and when you're older, it's for me, it's hard to get on that, to get aboard that, Brent. Because once again, we talked about it, it's just who you are. Like, if this was one email, you made a mistake. We all make mistakes. We're human. To err is a human. Okay, great. When this vocabulary and this language is used over and over again in hundreds and hundreds of emails that span out through the past 8 years. I mean, that's 8 years of thinking a certain way that you have to fix, and that's not easy.
Yeah, feels like it's in you.
Yeah.
But the question I would have now would be really interested to see if we find this out and somebody does in the last few years now that he's been back in the league, because this was all time when he wasn't in the league. And if you go back to that was really a different time 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't make it right. I'm just saying it's a really different time. What I would wonder is 19, 20, 21, 18 even, when he's back in the league, did somebody catch up on any of these things? Did they hear this? Or were these just things written with this group of men, that are Bruce Allen and others? Because, again, there were emails not just to Bruce Allen, according to the New York Times article, that had this kind of like group that was involved in it. Is this just the way they were talking, or is this more conversation? Like, did Mike Mayock hear this from time to time? Whether Mike Mayock said it or not, but did he hear this kind of conversation from time to time? By the way, it's not going to make anything better. It's not going to make what happened better. I would kind of be interested to know what somebody says and how they act and talk in front of people in everyday world versus what they email. Is that different?
But see, to me, obviously this starts with Gruden. And Gruden, this is his fault. But the people there's people out there, whether it was Mike Mack, and I don't want to put anybody in a false light here. I'm not sure, who said what, who responded to what. But I guarantee you that if Gruden's sending these emails, his circle has heard this verbiage before.
I would think.
Right? That's who you are, once again. So, it also stems on you. It stems on you to hold people accountable. Because, if you truly... If you preach making progress and you preach, trying to usher the NFL into a new light and a new era and all this stuff and equality and all this, well, that takes everybody. And it also takes people that are maybe in someone's circle who's speaking out the wrong way to hold that person accountable. So to those people that had a chance time and time again to hold Gruden accountable, this is on you as well, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Do you think they should? There's a lot of talk now. What would come of these emails if they released them? They're not going to. It doesn't look like. The NFL has said they're not going to do that. Obviously, somebody leaked these out. Then the Adam Schefter email came out about his journalism and things like that, which, by the way, I believe happens way more than that one time. But how much do you think the email should be released? Even if we maybe don't want to know the answer of what we might see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit like, do we really want, not the NFL, I'm just saying even the public. Like the public's like, do we really want to see? It's almost like, do we really want to know that guy's not as, you got to remember, John Gruden was a very likable character.
Yes.
Like, he's a likable figure.
Big part of the ESPN brand.
And people like John Gruden over the years. So this is not somebody that you're like, hey, that guy, figured that was about him the whole time. Like, I don't think anybody would have guessed that on John Gruden. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe if you're around him, closer to him, maybe you would have. But so I think people are a little bit like, okay, what if I like this coach and this exec and my team and blah, blah, blah. What would we see from those emails? By the way, that shouldn't be the reason they either release them or not release them.
Yeah.
But do you think they should release more of these?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if there's people out there that follow the Gruden path and have said things like Gruden has, then I think those people need to be brought to the light. I really do. Could it turn the NFL world upside down? Absolutely. But if I'm a player in that locker room, I would. If my coach was saying these things, I want to know about it. Whether it's in the privacy of his own emails or if it's in public, I would want to know because I'm a player. I'm supposed to believe in this guy. I trust in this guy. And if that trust is violated and it's not somebody that I think that person is, then I should have a right to know. So I'm for it. Yeah. I think it could be an absolute whirlwind.
Woof.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you...
Yeah, I don't know if they should. Again, we don't have no idea. Somebody's going to find out sooner or later how that thing leaked out. Mm-hmm. That will be a fascinating part of this story. Mm-hmm. To Daniel's point here on YouTube, that would be like a soap opera, Daniel.
It would be a soap opera.
It doesn't it feels a little bit like almost out of a movie.
Yeah.
Just those emails targeted at Gruden.
Yeah. And like, once again, because we spoke on this a couple days ago, I'm not trying to be the guy that's leading pitchforks and going on this witch hunt and making sure everyone loses their jobs and their livelihoods. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy. But if you can't even follow one of the golden rules of treat people how they deserve, no, how they've earned to be treated, then how are you going to run an organization? How am I supposed to be a player in that locker room, sacrifice my body and my mind for you, and you can't even follow the golden rule? Yeah. No, you're getting called out. You deserve to be called out. Enough said.
All right, let's switch back to some football. I got a thought on quarterbacking right now in the NFL.
Okay.
Is it the best it's ever been? I think it might be. I've said this, that I think there are more good quarterbacks in the NFL, in general, in football, in our population that have ever existed. The training is there. We know what good quarterbacks are. The games have changed to help different skill set quarterbacks, strengths and weaknesses quarterbacks. Like, there's more. Like, there are no doubt in my mind. I think that's a fact. But when we get to the elite of the elite, when we get to the show, the NFL, are there? I think we might be living through. I mean, listen, we had Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, and you got Brett Favre, and you got Troy Aikman, and you go back, you got Dan Marino, you
Steve Young,
you got guys for years, right? I mean, we've always had good quarterbacks. But my question is this the most elite we've ever been? The QB position in the NFL. And I'm starting to think yes is the answer, from old guys to young guys to even middle-of-the-road guys that might not necessarily you would call elite, but still have hope for or are willing to ride with.
Yeah. It's an I mean, first of all, let's be honest here. If you throw Tom Brady in any era, that era is immediately going to probably be the best.
You're getting a bump, right?
Right? So it's definitely the Tom Brady / GOAT bump there. I mean, in terms of young talent, because keep in mind, like Patrick Mahomes, still young. You know, the emergence now of Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, and to me, it's what it looks like now, right? It's the dual threatness. It's the extending the play if you have to. I think if you're asking the question from a talent standpoint, then yes, what these guys are capable of, I think it is probably the best. Decade or whatever, generation of quarterbacks that you're going to see. I think in terms of overall greatness, I'm not ready to call it that just yet, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, and it does make sense to me because there's a lot of unwritten stories.
Yeah.
The thing I thought about it today, okay, and this will give you a little bit more context. At 9:30 on Sunday morning on CBS, the Dolphins are going to play the Jaguars. That's Tua, who was a top 5 pick a couple years ago against number 1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence. Again, I'm mixed on Tua. I think the world is kind of mixed on Tua. But the skill set of Trevor Lawrence is off the charts, and people have called him generational, and he's been pretty good. We haven't seen enough to know that yet, to your point, right?
Yeah.
We don't know if they're elite. But the curiosity is there, are they? Well, then at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you got Justin Fields, another one of those up-and-coming guys, and Aaron Rodgers, who might be the most talented of this generation.
Correct.
You could make the case.
Yes.
Also, at 1 o'clock, I know we're showing this game on CBS 47. It's the Chargers and the Ravens, who right now have Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson in this game and might be, outside of Brady, the 2 leading MVP candidates of the NFL. And these guys, by the way, are like 24, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, and then let's see, hold on. The 4 o'clock game, that's also going to be on CBS 47. This is where it crossed my mind because I knew all these games were coming up. Cowboys and Patriots. Dak Prescott playing a really high level of football when he hasn't been hurt. And Mac Jones, another one of those top 15 quarterbacks that now you look toward the future and your team is invested in, and you feel like Mac, at least for the next handful of years, depending on how this goes, will be the quarterback of the New England Patriots. And while we won't get this necessarily, Russell Wilson with Seattle would play at 8 o'clock against the Steelers, and Ben Roethlisberger. And by the way, Ben Roethlisberger, with all he's done in his career, the Super Bowls, the accolades, the everything else, he will be now probably one of the bottom 10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The time has passed him by, it looks like. And then on Monday night, you get Buffalo Bills against the Titans. And while I think Tannehill kind of falls right now this year into the category of, I don't know where he fits, we know that Josh Allen might be, again, one of those leading front-runner MVP candidates. So I just pulled out 5 games. I think that was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can give you storylines and make cases for and hand out the MVP potentially. Oh, and I'll also throw tonight's in there because the MVP leading candidate is Tom Brady.
Yes.
The GOAT.
Yes.
And he plays tonight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, isn't that pretty wild? And even him goes against a guy like Jalen Hurts, who people are still waiting for the book to be written on, and is 87% of the Eagles' offense. Every game you go to has this storyline of quarterback that gives you hope. Mm-hmm. We've seen some good things. This is very few. Let's give me a good example. It's very few matchups across the league like we would have in Jacksonville from time to time, where it was Todd Bowman against, Ryan Fitzpatrick before he got popular, or even Bortles to that degree against EJ Manuel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we don't have those in the NFL. Like, I'm trying to think what that matchup would be in today's NFL right now. I mean, is it Heineke? Well, he's
but he's
doing well. Sam Darnold? Okay, he's doing well.
Probably Teddy, maybe.
I guess, yeah, Teddy, maybe. But do you think the folks in
Jimmy
Denver are happy to have Teddy right now? They're 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, they're happy. I'd probably say Jimmy Garoppolo, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, that could be like kind of that doesn't get you over the moon excited, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to move on soon enough from Jimmy Garoppolo.
I mean, if that's like a Thanksgiving game, I'm probably turning on Shania Twain instead. You know what I'm saying?
But the point being, you really have to search for that. We used to, search for the marquee matchup. That's why we had primetime games. We want to put Brett Favre against, you name it, Tom Brady on national TV. Well, now you could flip any coin, man.
Yeah.
And Bengals and Jaguars carries intrigue and a lot of popularity because of why? The QB's in that game, even with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You're making solid points here. Obviously, the game, since I grew up, it's changed drastically in terms of offensive scoring power, right? Like, points are at an all-time high. So, like, that obviously helps the quarterback position out as well. I think in terms of if you go from team to team, there's not a bad match with the quarterback position. But also I feel like, and this is just me speaking from like when I was growing up, like when you had quarterbacks like Brett Favre, John Elway, Steve Young, like you got the sense that like if Steve Young was playing somebody, that's probably a win. If Brett Favre was playing somebody, that's probably a win. If Peyton Manning's not really he started 2000s, but like he didn't get his groove until later on in his career. But like you got a sense like when these guys were playing, like their influence is gonna be all over the game.
Yeah.
Not to say that's not the case these days, but now we have like every team's got so much speed and like skilled receivers and good play calling. It's like the game has evolved so much where I feel like it just doesn't revolve around the quarterback's arm anymore.
That's a good
point.
Now,
if you look at the stats, though, like Tom Brady, it revolves around his arm. Like, he's not doing anything else.
No.
He's throwing, but I just think that the way the play calls have changed now and everything, I felt like a lot more was put on the quarterbacks of my generation growing up than it is now, which makes zero sense because it's more of an offensive-driven league. But I'm just saying, like, I think you can kind of scheme everything, I don't know.
I get what you're saying. Like, you're basically saying when you did have that guy, you were like, okay, we're going to win. But my point in that is, and I think you're answering my point, is that usually on the other side of the sideline, you would have a lesser quarterback more often than not. You wouldn't always have this star quarterback. So, well, you go to the Ravens and the Chargers, man. Which quarterback are you taking?
No, you're right. So I think to agree with you here, from top to bottom, from the top team in the league to the bottom of the league, in terms of talent and in terms of, I guess, like, similarity, that's there. But I also think, like, from greatness, whether it was Joe Montana, whether it was, even, like, a guy like Kurt Warner at the time. Like, Kurt Warner was one of the greatest stories of all time.
Yeah, he is.
The guy was bagging groceries. And
they would win.
And they would win. And, like, for, 2 years or 3 years when he was in St. Louis? 2 years?
Back-to-back Super Bowl. I think they won one and lost one, or lost one then won one.
But, like, he immediately cemented himself as, okay, if he's playing, then he's, he had the weapons around him, obviously, as well. But, like, that's, to me, it was a different time in terms of the star power of back then than it is now. Like, yes, it's still about the quarterback. It's still about Tom Brady. It's still about Patrick Mahomes and all this stuff. But I feel like in order for them to be successful nowadays, they got to have like the speedy receivers and they got to have the great play calling. I'm not sure if like all those guys back then had that.
Well, and again, I think that speaks to everybody has their guy that's pretty good, so you better be good in other areas. And the best proof of that right now is Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback of the last few years, has 15 touchdowns in his first handful of games, and they're 2-3. You know why? Because they're not good in other areas like defense.
Yes.
And so that's a problem. So it's created a point where we have so many good quarterbacks in the league that you better be pretty good in other areas. You have to have a complete team. To your point, you might have been able to get away with the quarterback just carrying the team as recently as Tom Brady and the Patriots over the years. Like, they didn't always have this great team around him.
Well, see, I think it's Tom Brady, it's Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers didn't have a lot of good receivers.
But Manning had a crappy offensive line for a while, remember?
True. But he had some weapons, though.
Well, he did have weapons. That's true.
Yeah.
Let's get to Captain Rick right now. Florida Sportsman Fishing Report. Captain Rick, favorite quarterback of all time is?
Ooh, Joe Montana.
There we go.
Yeah. But I got a question. Austin, did you say you had the option of turning on Shania Twain?
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, it seemed like every Thanksgiving growing up, Shania Twain was doing some kind of Thanksgiving special, or there was like ball on the other channel.
Okay, but I would take the option anytime I could of turning on Shania Twain. I'm just saying. I mean, that's up to you. But,
who are you telling? She still has it. I'm telling you.
I know. She's a star. All right, let's talk fishing a little bit. It was actually pretty good today. The triggerfish are still biting inshore. Robert Simon had a half a day inshore, and they had 6 or 7 nice triggerfish. They also had a whole lot of Almaco jacks. And why we've gotten this population boom of Almaco jacks the last few years, I don't know, but we certainly have. The sea bass bit a little bit. There were 4 or 5 caught per boat like that, so those fish are starting to move down from up north. Now, the redfish have continued to roll right along, and tomorrow is the last day of flounder fishing until December 1st. We've got a closed season that stretches from midnight tomorrow until the 1st of December. So if you're going to get them tomorrow. Now, weather-wise, we're going to look beautiful tomorrow. We're going to look great until about 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. A northeaster is coming in. It's coming in hard. It's going to drop our temperature, and it's going to cause the ocean to be too rough. So if you're going to fish this weekend, be back at the dock before 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. But one thing you can count on is we will be back tomorrow with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing and CSS Landscaping.
All right, Captain Rick, appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Thank you, boys.
It's Captain Rick Riles, Florida Sportsman Fishing Report each and every day. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and 7 a.m. on Saturday mornings. Make sure you join the show. Chris Sale going to be the game 1 starter for the Red Sox against the Astros. Nate Eovaldi in game 2. Sean McAdam, who covers the Red Sox, says surprise game 1 starter. It's amazing when you can have a $100 million guy be the surprise starter. But Eovaldi is kind of their horse, you know?
Let's go Giants.
My mom today is great. She's like, hey, how about the Red Sox? She's like, who are they playing again? Don't tell me. She's like, the Astros. She's like, Texas, right? I was like, no, Houston, Mom.
Well, I mean, it's in Texas.
I was like, yeah, you were close.
Yeah, she's got it.
And so Mom's all over this. She's like, it's a 5-game series, right? No, wait, it's 7.
Yep.
So all the Red Sox have to do is play well for like 8 more games.
Yep. Now, Brett, no, I mean, she's got it. She's a baseball fan.
Yeah, I don't know about that. She watches some of it, I guess.
Yeah.
She was also like, they finally did well, which means the narrative in Boston is that they stunk all year.
Whoa, I mean, Brett, your timeline was that narrative.
I
still might be the narrative.
To that.
It still might be the narrative.
We'll be back. FSU report. Casey's dying to do it when we come back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A nice night tonight as skies become mostly clear. Will drop into the 60s. A very warm Friday under partly sunny skies. Highs tomorrow in the mid to upper 80s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss Beards BOGO Wedding Band Sale happening now through October 24th.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we have repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, it is not your fault. Hubbard House is here for you. You are not alone. Hubbard House provides free services and emergency shelter to survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Call 904-354-3114 anytime, 24/7 to confidentially speak to a caring advocate.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
A healthier you is the first step toward a healthy baby. When planning a pregnancy, baby steps toward better health can deliver big results. Exercising regularly and eating a balanced diet will help you reach or maintain a healthy weight and increase the likelihood of a healthy baby. Taking a multivitamin containing folic acid every day helps prevent birth defects, and regular medical and dental checkups are especially important when planning for pregnancy. To learn more about taking your baby steps toward a healthy pregnancy, call Florida's Family Health Line at 1-800-451-2229.
Ian Eagle and Ross Tucker here from Westwood One with a preview of Thursday Night Football. It's an NFC matchup to start Week 6 as the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Ross, break it down for us.
Well, listen, Tom Brady and the Bucs offensively, they are a machine right now, so the Eagles are going to have to play like they did against the Panthers. That means the D-line's going to have to get after Brady, be opportunistic on the back end. But really, even so, I think it'll have to be Jalen Hurts' best performance, as the Eagles are just going to have to match them score for score. I picture it being a high-scoring game, and the Eagles have to hold serve.
Join us for all the primetime action, the Buccaneers at the Eagles, coming up on Thursday Night Football.
Get ready for the game with more details and preview at westwoodonesports.com. And remember to listen for the NFL right here all season long.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you wasting money on a timeshare you rarely use? Cancel it with Titan Exit Group. Get a free consultation and see how they can stop the never-ending maintenance fees and mortgage payments. In fact, if your timeshare contract is not terminated, you owe nothing, so you have nothing to lose. But those monthly fees. Get legally released from your timeshare, 100% guaranteed. Call now for your free consultation at 800-200-0894. 800-200-0894.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
really proud of our football team. Getting a chance to go back and watch the film, to see the execution of a plan of what we wanted to do, how that played out throughout the course of 4 quarters. I thought we played one of our cleanest games, and I said in regards to, we were 100% ball security. Offensively, we were able to create a takeaway. I had explosive plays. Had an explosive play in special teams. Really established the run.
That is Mike Norvell. How about the Florida State Seminoles? 2 wins in a row.
Man, big win, too.
That was a good one. That seems like forever ago.
Yeah.
The weekends are long, man. That was a good win for Mike Norvell. Good win for Florida State. They have a bye week this week. They get UMass on the other side. And now you start, again, we talked about this with the Jags. Could they snowball it? Now it might snowball a little bit. And I just love the fact, I keep referring to this. I love the fact if you go 2 weeks ago, you want to talk about a turning point. And by the way, this is a little less than like Tim Tebow's promise, okay? Mm-hmm. But it was a pound the podium, emotional talk to the media from Mike Norvell. And since then, they've won a couple games. And I know that seems like, whatever, Brent. I mean, who cares? They won a couple games. They're 2-4. Well, you know what? In Tallahassee, they were starting to wonder if they were going to win a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, maybe UMass on the other side either way because UMass is very good. But, well, how did that go earlier in the season? So I think it's I wonder if it's starting to turn a little bit at Florida State, and I think that's fair to ask. I mean, they've won 2 in a row. He's still got their attention. They're playing better football. Their offensive line, I think, is playing together a little bit better, all these things. And it's listen, if they went up against, you name a good team right now, I'm not sitting here ready to pick them. They're not good enough for that. But if they can roll off a couple more wins before the end of the season, what I'm really interested, Austin, is if they can beat UMass, and then after that it's Clemson. Let's just say they beat Clemson.
I mean when, hopefully. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, let's hopefully it's when. So
it's
they have the bye week. They beat UMass. They've won 3 in a row. Let's just say they feel good about themselves. Clemson's down. I don't think I doubt this happens, but Clemson's been in it with everybody. Clemson's just not that good. So let's just say they beat them. And then maybe they lose a game. But what does it do for the Florida State game? And does it scare Gator fans a little bit? Because right now it's a layup. Like, that's a layup game on their schedule.
Yeah.
When the Gator schedule comes out the last couple of years, that is an absolute layup game against Florida State. And you start to wonder, even if it's not a Clemson win, if they go into that game and they've won 4 out of 5, or they get to a 5th win, I wonder how Gator fans would feel about that game and be like, okay, we gotta at least kind of give these guys some notice.
It would definitely set a precedent because, let's be honest, Florida, they're disappointed right now because they're out of college football playoff contention.
Yeah.
Right. So now, you're still trying to play for the bowl, the best bowl you can play in, and you're playing for pride and all this stuff. Well, Florida State, if they can be competitive that game, and do I dare say maybe win that game, that would be huge for the university. Obviously that game's going to mean a lot more to Florida State than it does to Florida.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think there are some games down the stretch of the schedule that mean a heck of a lot more to Florida State, even sitting at 2-4 right now, than they do for the teams they're playing. And if you can pull one of those out that people don't expect, well, that even helps flip the script even more. And, I said this last week as we bring Casey in for the FSU report. I think right now it's important to build momentum and keep, as you go to signing day, keep what looks to be a very good recruiting class from Mike Norvell, because that's the one that's going to really help it turn around. We'll see if he can do that. FSU report brought to you by Bono's Pit Barbecue and Willie Jules Old School Barbecue. What do you have, Casey?
I'll start right where you kind of left off, and that is if they don't lose to Jacksonville State, it's a whole different feeling for FSU because Wake is obviously good.
Yeah,
they are 5-0. The Louisville game was close. That's a game that could go either way, and the Notre Dame game was close. So if you beat Jacksonville State, it's kind of a whole different feel, in my opinion. But as you mentioned, the rest of the season, obviously UMass, then Clemson. Then you have a tough test at home with NC State. Miami, who has lost a year at King now, might not be that good. And then Boston College and Florida to finish it up. But they did get the 35-25 win over North Carolina at North Carolina. They got down 10-0 after the first quarter, scored the next 21, and did not look back. Jordan Travis is the unquestioned quarterback of Florida State. Sorry, Mackenzie Milton. He was 11 for 13 for 145 and 3 touchdowns throwing the ball. Running the ball, he carried it 14 times for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 53-yard rushing touchdown. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're counting on your fingers, you don't have any left on your hand. That's how many touchdowns Jordan Travis scored by himself pretty much last week. Trayshawn Ward carried the ball for 77 yards. Jayshawn Corbin for 52 yards. And they did what they have to do. They run the ball, and they let Jordan Travis be a problem. He was a problem this week. Jermaine Johnson, another sack. Are we surprised? Shouldn't be. 6.5 on the season. He is a semifinalist for the Lombardi Trophy, which is for the top defensive lineman in the league, and he should have a pretty good chance at that. They held Sam Howell to 203 yards and an interception last week, which is tough to do for Sam Howell. Josh Downs, though, was a beast. But it didn't matter because FSU gets the win. Obviously, like we mentioned, a bye week. So looking back at some things, Jordan Travis is completing 64% of his passes on the year. His QBR is up to 150. It's 157 in this month alone. Jayshawn Corbin carried the ball for 556 yards and 4 touchdowns. Trayshawn Ward, 362 yards and 2 touchdowns. You have 4 guys over 100 yards receiving, which is surprising due to the, amount that Jordan Travis is throwing the ball. And then on the defensive side, besides Jermaine Johnson, you have Travis Jay, who has 2 of the 4 interceptions for FSU this year. He is a redshirt freshman, so that is something you like to see. But that's pretty much all we got. Just a little rundown of what's going on. We talked about the schedule and all those things because it is a bye week. So I guess if you're in Tallahassee, I don't really know what there is to do if Florida State is not playing. I don't know if there's something that you guys like to do over there. But if you do it because you guys are on bye and come back, regroup, and get ready for UMass.
There are probably some things they like to do.
Casey, any chance that Jacksonville State gets an invitation to the ACC?
I don't think so.
Okay.
By the way, Florida State basketball season right around the corner as well.
Nice. Casey, you talk about that too?
Why not?
Dang, man.
You're going to do a
weekly basketball
FSU
segment?
Hoops report. That one will probably come with a lot of dubs.
Hopefully.
Over the years, it has been very good.
I like it.
There at Florida State for sure. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz here on a Thursday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. That is your FSU report brought to you by Bono's and Willie Jews. We are the home of Florida State football and basketball right here on ESPN 690. Speaking of basketball, don't forget to go to UNFOspreys.com. Get your season tickets for Ospreys men's and women's basketball. Soccer home tonight for the women as well for UNF. So make sure you check it out on UNFOspreys.com. We do have the Bucks and Eagles coming up tonight, Austin Lane. Your Eagles got a chance to prove some things.
My Eagles, he calls them, yeah? Yeah, they had a chance to prove something. Great game in Philly. You know, this has been the Jalen Hurts show, nothing more really in Philadelphia.
That's it, right?
I mean, if you look at in terms of the usage and everything, you're facing a Buccaneers team that can shut down the run like nobody's business. So I feel like if you are going to be in a competitive game with the Buccaneers, it's got to be with the arm and it's got to be with Jalen Hurts. I'm excited.
Yeah. I just saw a headline on Mel Tucker. It's a guy you know.
Oh, yeah. He's having success in Michigan State.
Great guy, right?
Yeah.
So the headline's basically like how Michigan State became splashy thanks to Mel Tucker's makeover, Hot Times at East Lansing.
I thought all of a sudden he was in trouble or something. Like,
no,
here we go. Okay, good. Yeah, he's doing a great job there.
He's doing they're undefeated. They're top 10, right?
By the way, Michigan State game coming up might be crazy if they become undefeated, both teams.
Should more NFL guys go back to the college ranks? I know this wasn't just new. I mean, Mel Tucker, he had spent some time in the NFL, ended up at, or was he, Colorado?
Well, yeah, but before he was in the NFL, like coaching, he was at Ohio State. I think he was at Wisconsin as well.
I think he had plenty of stops.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you. Mel's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
Yes.
I thought they had some issues at Michigan State, right? Like, with their athletic program, with everything.
Yeah.
I think they bring like this good guy Mel Tucker in, And I didn't necessarily think they brought him in to be like, hey, let's go win the Big Ten and win national championships. I kind of viewed it as, hey, let's come clean up the program here a little bit.
Fix this mess, essentially.
Right.
And get us in a better light. Yes.
And he's done that, but now he's winning. And now, like, according to this headline, this from Pat Forty from SI, that, hey, it's a hot time in East Lansing. Now it's like people want to go there. Like, he's made into that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I don't want to downplay Mel Tucker. Again, he's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I saw him being like the next big thing in the Big Ten. I mean, when you think of James Franklin or Harbaugh or Ryan Day or, you understand Ferentz doing it at Iowa. He's been there forever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
When you think of those kind of guys, I never thought Mel Tucker would enter the fray and be that. Now, this might be a one-off thing.
Yeah.
But Mel Tucker might be the guy that turns Michigan State back into a winner.
Yeah.
After D'Antoni, that'd be something now.
I talked about this earlier on the show today when I say what makes a great coach is sometimes you got to read the room and relate to your players. Mel Tucker is that guy. Like, no one can get along with any position group, can just kind of, chop it up a little bit better than Mel Tucker. Now, let's not get it twisted. He's still an NFL coach. Like, he expects a lot out of you. He's going to make you work hard. But, like, in terms of culture building, because I remember when Jack Del Rio got fired here. When Jack got let go and then Mel took over. Like, we wanted to win for Mel. And we thought he might be, like, the next head coach more than an interim. So, like, he can definitely get guys behind him that want to play for him. So he's doing a great job in Minnesota.
Yeah, by the way, I got a shout out to Scotty. Shout out to Scotty Hazelton, too, with that defense. He's defense coordinator there, former Jags linebacker coach. Good guy, good family, and they're getting it done. So I'm glad to see them having fun there in East Lansing. And Mel Tucker leading the way. You said it, man. All-world guy, no doubt about it. Easy guy to root for sure. So we can root for him down the stretch as well. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Time to get our Thursday picks in. Somebody is undefeated. Somebody. Only one. Wonder who that is. We'll be back.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He finds the promised land. Touchdown, FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
Outside the numbers to the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. It's a touchdown, Florida State. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line. Noles win. Noles win.
Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long. Right here on your home for Florida State football.
Sponsored by Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Smoked for hours. Served in minutes.
It's that time of year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron. BetOnline.net is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football odds and news this season. Get all the updated info on players, teams, and odds to help you with your new football contests, leagues, and new survivor pools. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports. Pro sports, MMA, championship boxing, golf, horse racing, they have it all. Bring the game home with BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
Temperatures keep climbing, and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer. I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts. Jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life. And you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut. Take 2. Action.
You've been diagnosed with a new purpose, to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself. To look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
Quitting tobacco isn't easy. The good news is, Tobacco Free Florida is here to help you quit your way by offering the free support and tools you'll need to succeed. Our AHEC cessation program offers Group Quit, virtual classes you can take from the comfort of your own home across every county in Florida. All you need is a phone, tablet, or computer. You may also be eligible to receive up to $400 worth of free quit aids, such as nicotine patches, lozenges, or gum. You aren't alone, and our group quit sessions can offer the support you've needed all along. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried to quit, now is your time to succeed, because now is the time to quit your way. So give us a call at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to double your chances of success. Ask about free nicotine replacement options to help you quit today. This is your start to a tobacco-free life. No judgments, just help.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jax. After you listen to us from 3 to 6 today, you can hear Thursday Night Football as Tom Brady and the Bucs travel to Philly to take on Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Coverage starts at 8 right here on ESPN 690.
Yeah, last year we lost in a short week, so it's kind of disappointing, you have these weeks and you put a lot into them in a really short period of time like we have. It's already Tuesday morning at 10:45, and we've got a lot of things installed. We're normally, you still have another 24 hours before you put anything in. We basically have everything in for the game at this point. So, it's like a cramming for an exam, You just got to kind of put everything else to the side and then just focus on the game.
Listen, stop with the narratives of how can Tom Brady do it still. He's 40-something years old, blah, blah, blah. I told you, he can throw the football still. He's in good shape. The guy doesn't drink coffee. He's got like his own brand of everything.
Yeah.
He's fine. Stop worrying about the age. We've already gone over this. Like, he can play until you tell me that somebody closed on a pass because it didn't look the same. I think Brady can continue to play like this. And the one thing people leave out, Austin, is the fact that he's smarter than everybody in the league naturally. Not because he's going to take an SAT and beat you. Ryan Fitzpatrick's smarter than him. But he has seen every situation that the league has to offer. Mm-hmm. He's seen every defense. He knows every style. He's seen every player. And for then, that point, the game is slower for Tom Brady than it is for any player in the NFL, like without question. Any of them. Name the greats, doesn't matter. Even Aaron Rodgers, even Russell Wilson, even the rest of them. The game of football is fast. The game of football is violent. The game of football is a lot of things. But this guy, for years and years now, but still now, that game is super slow. It goes in slow motion for him. And I don't think you can underestimate that part as an athlete. Whatever your sport you're playing, when the game goes slow for you, you perform at a high level, especially if you've still got the physical talents. And the physical talents aren't this 40 time. Physical talent is he can still rifle a pass in between two defenders. And as long as he can do that, we're going to see a good Tom Brady. Now, this has been a fantastic Tom Brady, but he's on a fantastic team. I'm not as surprised by the Tom Brady success early on as I think a lot of people seem to be wrapped up in.
No, I'm not surprised at all because, he left a storied career in New England where you had, you obviously had great teams, fantastic teams, but in terms of weapons, yeah, you had some here or there. You had a strong run game, offensive line that always had your back. But, you never really had the over-the-top guys. It was just, it was Tom Brady being Tom Brady and that Patriots defense having his back. You go to Tampa Bay and you're surrounded by talent. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Then you bring in Antonio Brown. A decent running game and a defense that, once again, kind of has your back a little bit in terms of playing complementary football. At least last year. This year is a little different. But then you take last year as well where there was COVID protocols and you couldn't even get the full time with the team and you still had that much success. What did you think it was going to happen when you had a full season to prepare? You had a full offseason. You had a full training camp. But, of course, Tom Brady is an MVP running. But, of course.
Yeah, I will say this. I think, are they as good around him as they were last year? That's a fair question.
Well, especially on defense.
And defense,
yeah.
right? And they've been banged up to their, in their defense.
Sure.
But that is the question. And who you are in early October and who you are, by late December and January, it's we've long said that. That's two different things. And if you look at the Bucs in early October last year versus what they looked like in late December, January, well, it was a totally different thing.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got, Casey?
All right. Who's picking first?
I think I am, right? Because we all tied
Still
last
the biggest
week.
loser.
Thank you, Brent.
Your options are this then. Obviously the game.
Yeah.
You can take Philly +7 or potentially the Bucs -7.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could take over 52.5 points.
Listen, I'm competitive, right? I love to win.
Bucs do. Yeah.
I hate to lose. By the way, my golfer is not doing good right now. I saw. Check the scores. Burns.
Yeah.
Not good.
I'm watching.
Not doing good, right?
And the butcher didn't sharpen his knives.
I got a dull blade in the cabinet right now. The sportsman in me, the competitive person in me, wants to take Tampa Bay straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also mad at my word. And this is ESPN 690 Philly. Give me the Eagles with the points.
Whoa, he let his heart do the talking.
Yep, I don't care. You know what? It's one thing if I'm going down, but I'm going down. I'm going to fight for what I believe in, Brent. And I believe the Eagles are going to have a better record than the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. It's in the bet. And I think the Eagles can give the Cowboys a run for their money in the division. Eagles +7.
Am I up?
He's a disillusioned one.
It is 7, right?
7.
Yeah, what?
Not 7.5?
It is 7.
You sure?
That means a push is in play.
It is 7.
What book you looking at? Okay. 8? No? Right,
I got 7 at the one I'm looking at.
I'm just kidding.
I'm seeing 7. So
Yeah.
am I up?
I don't know. You're the ruler of these games.
Wait, how did fantasy go last week for you guys?
I won. I beat Stewart.
And
We
Brent,
didn't
how
play
did you
each other.
do?
Well, I won too.
I only scored like 90 points, though.
I won.
Oh, then I guess action to Brent. Right?
Is that how it works?
Yeah, pick Brent. Jeez.
I'll take the Bucs.
Shocker. Big shock.
I mean, yeah, it was teed up for you.
I'm like undefeated here, so if you want to go and you take the Bucs and I'll do the over-under, that's fine.
Nope. I'm a competitor. I mean, it's going to be an asterisk 6-0, but
pouting in the corner.
Yeah.
Pouting.
Give me over 52.5.
I would have taken that
Bucs
too.
can't play defense.
I would have taken that
for
too.
Sure.
We're on the same page today. I know you guys, didn't think I had the good stuff last week, and I still came up big.
Yeah, we did laugh right in your face.
Hey, can we say that the Bucs we still don't know fully about? They come out in the opener. They beat the Cowboys. It was a really good game. Cowboys are good.
Yeah.
The Falcons stink. They beat them. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Rams. The Patriots are not. I mean, the Patriots are, what's their record? 2-3 now. Mm-hmm. They beat the Dolphins, who are 1-4. They play the Eagles. They play Chicago after that. I mean, their schedule is, it's like, okay, they had 2 really probably testy games.
Yes.
Cowboys off the rip, and they really, a lot of people would say should have lost.
Yeah.
And they lost to the Rams. I mean, do we really know if they're any good? I mean, we know they're good.
We know they're good. We're assuming they're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
The schedule has been a little.
It has. But yeah.
Like the
They're
Indianapolis Colts played a hard schedule to start.
Murder's
we
row.
know that.
Yeah.
This isn't that schedule.
Not even close.
In fact, if you start running down their schedule, they got a lot of.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's the Devonta Smith game tonight. I can feel it.
You feeling it? I see. I was saying Zach Ertz.
No.
Fantasy.
Feels like 38-10 to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel confident about this one, guys. This is the first time I've left a Thursday show kind of feeling sick in my stomach a little bit.
By the way, that game's on Fox 30 tonight. Also is right here on ESPN 690, part of our Westwood One coverage. Make sure you listen right here on ESPN 690, the Bucks and the Eagles. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, live from Extreme Wings, Roosevelt Boulevard. Come on out and join us. Extreme Wings, Roosevelt Boulevard, 3 to 6 tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.
Fly